Chapter 3141. Look, it's Chen Rufeng and Nalan Yinran. Wow, these two are really a match made in heaven. What are you talking about? The two of them aren't in that kind of relationship. So what? With young Master Chen's means, he can get any beauty he wants. Nalan Yinran will be his sooner or later. Chen Rufeng was the young master of the Chen family, and he was very talented. He had reached the peak of 9-star at the age of 100 years old. He would probably reach the great perfection in a few decades. A great perfection at the age of 100 years old. That was an extremely terrifying existence. In the future, it was very likely that he would become an existence like Gao Feng. Everyone was discussing. Although they were all from the younger generation, these people were different from Lin Xian. Lin Xian was a real young man, whereas Chen Rufeng was 100 years old. However, the people around him didn't care. So what if he was 500 years old? To them, he was still a young man. Wow, he's a future top genius. Nalan Yinran's life is worth it to be able to befriend such a person. Many women were very envious. After Lin Xian heard that, his brows twitched. Nalan Yinran? Is she that person? He remembered that when he was with Feng Hao, there was a woman in black called Nalan Yinran. However, he didn't know if it was that person or someone with the same name. At the next moment, he also looked forward. The crowd in front of him dispersed, and two figures walked over. One of them was a woman in white. She was ethereal and had a beautiful face. Behind her followed a group of pursuers, and standing next to her was a tall young man. He was wearing a silver armor that shone brightly. Countless people looked up to him like a god of war. The two of them seemed to be a match made in heaven. Chen Rufeng was very happy. Everyone present was a genius and a disciple of a large family, but these people had to respect him. Moreover, what made him even happier was the beauty beside him, Nalan Yinran. After tonight, the relationship between the two of them would probably take another step forward. By then, he might be able to take her down in one fell swoop. None of the women that he, Chen Rufeng, had ever been able to escape from his grasp. While thinking about it, he frowned. That was because he realized that there was a figure in front of him who didn't move aside but blocked their path. This made Chen Rufeng extremely displeased. Who was so bold as to block his path? Naturally, the others also saw this scene and immediately began to discuss. Who is this person? How arrogant! How dare he block Chen Rufeng? You're courting death. Could it be that it was an extremely noble person? I know. I asked him a lot of questions just now, but he didn't answer. He's a weirdo. However, they realized that no one recognized the red-clothed young man in front of them. As far as they were concerned, the red-clothed young man was dead for sure. Chen Rufeng stopped and frowned. He glanced behind him. The followers behind him immediately reacted and walked forward, intending to berate him coldly. However, in the next moment, they were all stunned. Not only them, but Chen Rufeng and the others were also stunned. Nalan Yinran, who was dressed in snow-white clothes, suddenly exclaimed. Then, she revealed her brightest smile. Lin Gongzi, it's you. She lifted her feet and ran over to Lin Xian's side. She was so excited that she almost jumped into Lin Xian's arms. Lin Gongzi, is it really you? Am I dreaming? Nalan Yinran was too excited. She had been waiting for Lin Xian, but she didn't see him at all. In her opinion, perhaps he didn't come here. However, she didn't expect to see Lin Xian again. The surrounding people opened their mouths wide. Oh my God, who is that person? He knows Nalan Yinran. I've never seen Nalan Yinran with such an expression before. No way, Nalan Yinran is about to jump into his arms. How is that possible? Everyone felt their minds go blank. The Nalan Yinran they knew was a goddess who looked warm on the outside, but her heart was 1,000 miles away. It could be said that no one could enter her heart. Even Chen Rufeng could only hover around her and couldn't take a step forward. That made everyone realize that it wasn't easy to win over this goddess. But now, Nalan Yinran was showing such enthusiasm to an unfamiliar young man. That made everyone feel that their brains weren't enough to process it. Especially Chen Rufeng. After the initial shock, his face completely darkened. There was a trace of extremely terrifying murderous intent in his eyes. So much so that the surrounding air almost froze. When the others felt the terrifying murderous intent, They were also startled awake. Immediately, they looked at Lin Xian and sneered. This kid dares to snatch eldest young Master Qin's woman? He's definitely dead. That's right. Qin Rufeng is such a genius. How can this kid compare to him? He'll definitely end up in a miserable state. In the crowd, there were two people who were equally shocked. They quickly walked out. They came to Lin Xian's side. It's really you. Fang Ping was shocked. Fang Hao had an excited expression. Brother Lin, we meet again. Long time no see. Lin Xian greeted the three of them with a smile. Little White, who was on his shoulder, also made faces at the three of them. The four of them chatted in front as if there was no one else around. They completely ignored the people around them. Chen Rufeng's face darkened even more. He snorted coldly. It was like a clap of thunder that exploded in the surroundings. Immediately, Fang Hao, Qing, and the others' expressions changed. Nailin Yanran was also shocked. Then, as if she remembered something, she quickly turned around. Lin Xian frowned slightly. He raised his head and glanced at the other party. Then, he stopped paying attention. Great perfection stage 9 stars? Not long ago, he killed one with a wave of his hand. Chen Rufeng snorted coldly, but he didn't immediately get angry. Instead, he asked with a smile, Yanran, is this your friend? Why don't you introduce him? After Nailin Yanran heard that, she took a deep breath and said with a smile, This is my good friend, Lin Gongzi. Lin Gongzi, this is Chen Rufeng, young Master Chen. At the same time, she quickly sent a voice transmission. Chen Rufeng is the eldest young master of the Chen family. His strength and background have completely surpassed Wan Gong. Obviously, Nailin Yanran was reminding Lin Xian. Lin Gongzi? Which family is Lin Gongzi from? Which Lin family? Chen Rufeng asked coldly. Of course, he had heard of the Lin family. However, he didn't know when Lin Xian had such a young master. How dare he offend him? However, Lin Xian didn't answer him at all. He didn't even bother to respond. He looked at Nailin Yanran. By the way, you said that a top-grade alchemy cauldron appeared here last time. When did it appear? Lin Xian came to Tianfang Pavilion for only one purpose. That was to see the top-grade alchemy cauldron and then get it. As for young Master Qin, what the hell was that? Chapter 3142. Lin Gongzi, I'm afraid you'll have to wait a while for the cauldron. Nailin Yanran did not expect that Lin Xian actually ignored Chen Rufeng. She was shocked. The surrounding people were also stunned. Oh heavens, this kid is going to cause trouble. He actually dared to ignore young Master Qin? Hee, just you wait. Ignoring Chen Rufeng, he'll definitely end up miserable. Sure enough, Chen Rufeng was trembling all over. His eyes emitted an extremely cold light. The surrounding void was about to shatter. Kid, I'm asking you a question. His roar was like a clap of thunder. Many people trembled and almost fainted from the shock. Even Nailin Yanran, Qing, Fang Hao, and the others were also affected. However, Lin Xian did not seem to be affected at all. He gently waved his hand and helped Yanran and the others block the energy impact. Then, he shook the wine cup in his hand. Whose dog is barking here? Clang. As soon as he said that, many people's wine cups all fell to the ground. However, they were all made with good quality nerves, so they would not break. However, the continuous collision sound kept echoing in the main hall. Everyone was stunned. Many people were even about to pee in their pants. Oh heavens, what is this kid saying? He actually dared to call Chen Rufeng a dog? He wants to die. It's over. Something big will definitely happen today. Thinking about it, it's really exciting. Many people were immediately interested. For these young masters of the aristocratic families, no one dared to provoke them. Now that they met someone who didn't know what was good for him, it was very refreshing. Of course, they knew that Lin Xian's ending would be very miserable. After hearing that, Chen Rufeng was immediately angry. A terrifying aura appeared on his body, shattering the surrounding void. The formation of Tianfang Pavilion began to flicker unsteadily. The expressions of the followers behind Chen Rufeng changed. They shouted loudly, Damn it! You dare to insult young Master Qin? Hurry up and kneel down and slap him. If you don't calm young Master Qin down today, don't walk out of Tianfang Pavilion alive. These people roared together like thunder. The surrounding people's expressions changed instantly. Everyone distanced themselves from Lin Xian for fear of being implicated. They watched from afar. Only Lin Xian, Nailin Yinran, Qingqing, and Feng Hao were left. Nailin Yinran's face turned extremely pale. Qingqing and Feng Hao were also stunned. This was especially so for Qingqing. She hurriedly transmitted a message to Lin Gongzi. Don't act recklessly. This Chen Rufeng is very terrifying. He's not someone Wangong and the others can compare to. Even the Bloody Blade Monarch had to be careful when he saw him, because his identity was too unusual. Lin Xian didn't care at all. He poured another cup of wine and gently swirled the glowing wine in his hand. You don't have the right to know my identity. For the sake of Nailin Yinran, I will spare your life today. Get out of here. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Good boy. I've never seen anyone who dares to be so arrogant in front of me. Chen Rufeng laughed. He did not make a move immediately because those who were able to enter this place were mostly people of status, and it was impossible for them not to know his identity. Since the other party dared to be so arrogant despite knowing his identity, it meant that he had something to rely on. Although Chen Rufeng was arrogant, he wasn't a fool. He had to figure out the other party's identity before acting according to his identity. Kid, show me your family. Let me see if you have the right to go against me. Lin Xian ignored him. In his opinion, they were just a few ants jumping in front of him. If he wasn't happy, he could kill them at any time. How dare such a person ask about his identity? What a joke. No, Lin Xian didn't answer, but the others thought that he was afraid. A few girls beside Chen Rufeng also asked in a coquettish voice. Yinran, what is the identity of your friend? Hurry up and tell us. Don't keep us in suspense. In their opinion, Lin Xian must be the young master of a top family. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so arrogant. Nailin Yinran hesitated for a long time before she finally gritted her teeth and said softly. Lin Gongzi was a rogue cultivator. He was very powerful. Clang. The wine cups in everyone's hands fell to the ground again. Their mouths were agape. What? A rogue cultivator? The followers behind Chen Rufeng were also stunned. Then, they hugged their stomachs and bent over in laughter. Ha 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 ha. I'm dying of laughter. He's actually a rogue cultivator. Damn it. I thought he was a genius from a top sacred ground. I didn't expect him to be a hothead. He probably doesn't even know who we are. That's for sure. If he knew who we were, he wouldn't dare to be so arrogant. He would have peed his pants and knelt on the ground. Oh no. I'm laughing so hard that tears are coming out. Those people stood out and pointed at Lin Xian and sneered. Kid, do you know who we are? Hurry up and kneel. You're just a rogue cultivator. How dare you be so presumptuous in front of us? The others laughed too. But soon, they couldn't laugh anymore. Lin Xian's face darkened. Suddenly, a gust of wind condensed into a few light palms and slapped the clowns in front of him away. With a bang, those people's teeth were broken and their faces deformed. All of them knelt on the ground and felt dizzy. Some of them even fainted. Seeing this scene, everyone's laughter stopped abruptly. They widened their eyes in disbelief. Heavens! This person dared to attack? And he dared to hit those people. One had to know that although those people were only Chen Rufeng's followers, their status was not low. They were all young masters of large families. In fact, some of their families were not weaker than the Chen family. However, those people were not direct descendants. They were only disciples of the side family. However, hitting them was equivalent to slapping their families in the face. How could the families behind them let it go? More importantly, although those people were arrogant, they had the right to be arrogant. They were all 9-star kings. The other party had only glanced at them and injured them. His strength was not to be underestimated. Nailin Yinran, Qingqing, and the others were also shocked. However, Lin Xian acted as if he had done something insignificant. Noisy. If you dare shout in front of me again, I'll obliterate you. Everyone swallowed their saliva. The martialists behind Chen Rufeng did not dare to be arrogant anymore. They all looked at Chen Rufeng. They knew that Chen Rufeng would definitely not let this matter go. Sure enough, Chen Rufeng's face was extremely gloomy. Killing intent surged from his body. This aura was so terrifying that it caused the surrounding space to shatter quickly. Kid, you actually dared to attack me in front of me and hit my people? How dare a mere rogue cultivator be so arrogant in front of me? I'll give you one last chance. Kneel. I can leave you with an intact corpse. Otherwise, when I make my move, I'm afraid you'll regret being born in this world. Chapter 3143. Are you threatening me now? Lin Xian glanced at the other party and said nonchalantly, You know Gao Peng, right? You've heard of the Nether King, right? Even the two of them don't dare to be arrogant in front of me. Who do you think you are? The moment these words came out, everyone was scared silly. Many people even rolled their eyes. In their view, Lin Xian was seriously too arrogant, and the more arrogant he was, the more unreasonable it became. Who was Gao Peng? That was a group of elite prodigies at the peak of Cloud Return Planet. That was someone who had comprehended power close to Tao. Such a person was absolutely high and mighty. Perhaps all the geniuses in their entire Great Hall combined could not compare to one of his fingers. And the Nether King was even more terrifying. In a short few days, he swept through Cloud Return Planet, suppressing everyone until they could not raise their heads. Even Gao Peng was defeated at his hands. If not for the mysterious Lin Wudi, probably no one would be able to suppress the Nether King now. It was impossible for Chen Rufeng to know these two people, but he had definitely heard of them. In front of such an existence, he probably did not even have the possibility of resisting. However, he did not believe Lin Xian's words at all. Such a prodigy would fear this youth in front of him? What a joke. Kid, I didn't expect you to be so reckless. Since you're courting death, I can fulfill your wish. Seeing that you're an itinerant cultivator, you probably don't know my identity, right? Let me tell you, I, Chen Rufeng, am the eldest son of the Qin family. My current realm is at the Great Circle of 9 stars, and I just turned 100 years old. My strength is even more powerful. In the same rank, few are my match. Even those older generation figures are inferior to me. Before long, I'll comprehend power close to Tao and reach half-sage realm. And at that time, I'm very likely only around 500 years old. Do you think you have the qualifications to contend with me? Hearing this, everyone fell silent. It was indeed so. Chen Rufeng was like Gao Peng back then. In 400 to 500 years, he could absolutely comprehend power close to Tao. That way, he would be the next Gao Peng. In the future, he could also slaughter his way onto the ancient starry sky path. They could not afford to provoke such a prodigy. This itinerant cultivator in front of them was simply reckless. Nalan Yinran, Fang Hao, and Qingqing were also extremely nervous. Although they knew that Lin Xian was so powerful that even the Bloody Blade King was afraid of him, they still didn't know how powerful he was. However, the Bloody Blade Monarch was nothing in front of Chen Rufeng. Both sides were not on the same level. Therefore, they were now worried about Lin Xian. Lin Xian, however, had a look of disdain on his face. Only after a few hundred years would one be able to comprehend a power that was close to the Tao. Such a person was too trashy. After all, he had already comprehended 2 powers that were close to the Tao. Shaking his head, Lin Xian was disappointed. I thought you were some sort of genius, but I didn't expect that you would need several hundred years to catch my eye. The difference was too great. If your Chen clan's patriarch was here, he might barely be able to talk to me. Courting death. Brat, you have thoroughly infuriated me. How dare you provoke my Chen family? What kind of status did the patriarch of the Chen clan have? How dare the other party be so arrogant? He took a step forward, and his aura erupted like a volcano. A terrifying light enveloped the entire space. Everyone was trembling in fear. It was over. Chen Rufeng was enraged. It would be hard to calm down a top genius like him. Perhaps the brat opposite him would be skinned alive. As Chen Rufeng's aura erupted, the array formation of Tianfang Pavilion was completely activated. Countless figures gathered here. At the same time, an old man descended from the sky. Who was this? Who dared to make a move in Tianfang Pavilion? It was the Pavilion Guardian Elder of Tianfang Pavilion. Countless people screamed. This was a big shot of Tianfang Pavilion. The forces behind Tianfang Pavilion were complicated and terrifying. Even Chen Rufeng did not dare to be too presumptuous. The surrounding martial artists were even more shocked. They did not even dare to breathe loudly when they saw the old man. Chen Rufeng also retracted his aura, nodded slightly at the old man, and said proudly, "I am Chen Rufeng of the Chen clan. So it's young Master Chen." The pavilion guardian elder smiled. Who dared to provoke young Master Chen? The attitude of the pavilion protector elder caused huge waves in the surrounding people's eyes. Chen Rufeng's followers sneered. Did you see that? This was their young Master Chen. Even the pavilion guardian elder had to give him face. The others were shocked. Chen Rufeng's identity was so terrifying. He would definitely die. Qingqing, Fang Hao, and Nalan Yinran's expressions changed drastically. Oh no, Lin Gongzi, why don't we leave? Yeah, there's nothing to attend in Tianfang Pavilion. Why don't we have a gathering outside? The three of them naturally wanted to drag Lin Xian away. After all, the current situation was extremely unfavorable for Lin Xian. Chen Rufeng took the lead and fixed his gaze on the few of them. He pointed at Lin Xian and said coldly, "This guy provoked me and even dared to attack the people around me. He has completely broken the rules of Tianfang Pavilion. More importantly, he's just a rogue cultivator." Brother Tianfang invited the top geniuses of the big clans. What right does a rogue cultivator like him have to enter? The pavilion protector elder frowned as soon as he said that. The guards beside him also emitted cold light as countless auras locked onto Lin Xian. The people around him were already trembling. However, the pavilion guardian elder frowned. The guards he brought were all elites. In addition to his aura, even a 9-star king would be scared out of his wits. However, the other party was still calm and composed. There was no panic in his aura, which made him feel incredulous. This person was not simple. However, so what if he was not simple? Tianfang Pavilion had never been afraid of anyone. More importantly, the other party had offended Chen Rufeng. Therefore, the pavilion guardian elder quickly stood on Chen Rufeng's side. He asked coldly, "May I know which clan you are from? Can you show me your identity?" "I'm a rogue cultivator." "You don't have to ask." Lin Xian said indifferently. "What? He's really a rogue cultivator." Hearing the other party admit it, the surrounding people were in an uproar. The corners of Chen Rufeng's mouth curled up into a cold smile. Since the other party had taken the initiative to admit it, then things would be easier. Humph. The pavilion guardian elder's face darkened. How dare a rogue cultivator cause trouble in Tianfang Pavilion? How dare a rogue cultivator barge into Tianfang Pavilion and disturb the order of Tianfang Pavilion in public? Men, take him down. The pavilion protecting elder shouted angrily. 6 martial artists walked over and surrounded Lin Xian with their long sabers clanging in their hands. Seeing this, Fang Hao pulled out his long sword. Who dares to touch Brother Lin? Lin Xian was his savior. Now that Lin Xian was in trouble, he naturally had to help him. Qingqing's face was pale. However, she sighed and did not leave. Perhaps her presence here could make Tianfang Pavilion fear her. Nalan Yinran exclaimed. Lin Gongzi was not an ordinary rogue cultivator. He was strong and definitely a genius. Moreover, even Bloody Blade Monarch of Thousand Herb Hall was in awe of him. Chapter 3144. Bloody Blade Monarch? Many people's expressions changed when they heard that. However, Chen Rufeng and the Pavilion Guardian Elder looked disdainful. They didn't care about the Bloody Blade Monarch. Even if the Bloody Blade Monarch came personally, he wouldn't dare to be impudent in front of them. Kid, is this your trump card? Bloody Blade Monarch? That's scary. Let me tell you, even the Bloody Blade Monarch has to bow down in front of me. He wouldn't dare to provoke me. Provoking me is the biggest mistake you've made in your life. Chen Rufeng revealed a devilish smile. Don't worry, I won't kill you easily. I'll let you know the consequences of offending me. I'll let you know what it means to wish you were dead. Chen Rufeng laughed loudly. The Pavilion Guardian Elder shouted coldly, Take him away. No, you can't move. Fang Hao and Qingqing went forward but were beaten back. They weren't a match for these experts at all. Nalan Yinran also stood in front of Lin Xian, but she was still restrained by the array. The strength of the Tianfang Pavilion wasn't something they could contend against. The surrounding people looked at this scene and sneered. This brat really didn't know what was good for him. First, he offended young Master Chen. Now, he dared to offend the Tianfeng Pavilion. If he offended one of them, he would be dead. If he offended two of them, it wouldn't be easy even if he wanted to die. While they were discussing, the 6 experts had already surrounded Lin Xian and locked him in place. Lin Xian didn't care at all. A cold light flashed in his eyes. These people dared to attack him? In that case, he didn't mind tearing down the entire Tianfeng Pavilion. Then, he would forcefully take away the pill cauldron. In the sky, 6 large palms covered the sky and grabbed at Lin Xian. A great battle was about to break out. However, at this moment, a cold voice was heard from afar. Who dares to attack? As soon as the voice was heard, the array changed rapidly and instantly pierced through the 6 large palms in the sky. At the same time, rays of light surrounded Lin Xian and protected him. This shocking change made everyone dumbfounded. Chun Rufeng was stunned, but the pavilion protecting elder frowned. What was going on? Was there someone who could use the array? Who was it? He was a member of Tianfeng Pavilion. Humph, I want to see who dares to stop me. In the next moment, he turned his head to look, and the others followed suit. But soon, they were stunned. That was because they saw a beautiful blue-clothed woman walking over from afar. At this moment, there was a trace of coldness and killing intent on his face. The pavilion protector elder was originally very angry, but when he saw this young woman, his body trembled and his expression changed instantly. Second miss, why are you here? Although he was the pavilion guardian elder of Tianfeng Pavilion and had great strength, he was only in Tianfeng Pavilion. Even the pavilion master of Tianfeng Pavilion had to be extremely respectful to him, because the person who came was the second daughter of the Qi family. Although their brother Tianfeng was powerful, he was just one of the businesses under the Qi family. The second miss could be said to be his master. Although he wasn't afraid of the second young mistress with his strength as a pavilion guardian elder, he still had the backing of the Qi clan. Any expert elder would be able to kill him. Therefore, the pavilion guardian elder didn't dare to be impudent in front of the second miss at all. Second miss? What second miss? The surrounding people were stunned. Many of them didn't know her. Because their status wasn't high enough, Chen Rufeng's expression changed, and he quickly cupped his fists with a smile. So it's the second miss of the Qi family. I'm Chen Rufeng. We've met once before. What? The second miss of the Qi family. As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people gasped. They didn't expect the second miss of the Qi family to be here. Behind Tianfeng Pavilion was the Qi family. The second miss of the Qi family was equivalent to the master of Tianfeng Pavilion. Even the pavilion master of Tianfeng Pavilion had to bow to her. They didn't expect such a powerful figure to be here. Everyone was amazed. Although they were disciples of large families, they were much more insignificant compared to the Qi family. Chen Rufeng had a smile on his face that he thought was handsome, but his mind was racing. In terms of appearance, the second miss of the Qi family was even better than Nailin Yanran. Her status was far above Nailin Yanran's. If he could get his hands on such a woman, then his status and strength would change drastically in the future. Therefore, Chen Rufeng's heart was burning. He even wanted to walk up to the second miss of the Qi family. But the next moment, he was stunned, because he found that the second miss of the Qi family didn't pay attention to him at all. She didn't even look at him. Instead, she went directly to Lin Xian's side and asked carefully and anxiously, Lin Gongzi, are you all right? Are you hurt? What? This scene was like a clap of thunder that stunned everyone. Why was the second miss of the Qi family so nervous? Moreover, he was so careful and even had a trace of respect. Heavens, who the hell is this kid? Previously, they thought that Lin Xian was just a rogue cultivator who sneaked in, but now they were suspicious. How could a rogue cultivator make the second miss of the Qi family so respectful? Chen Rufeng was stunned, and his face turned ugly. The guards of Tianfeng Pavilion felt their scalps go numb. The pavilion guardian elder's pupils shrank. The surrounding people were in an uproar. At this moment, the few young martial artists behind Chen Rufeng couldn't stand it anymore and said anxiously, Second miss, this guy is a liar. He injured us and ignored the rules of Tianfeng Pavilion. He's about to be taken down by Tianfeng Pavilion. Second miss, you must punish him severely. That's right. Chen Ruffing also took out a folding fan and waved it gently. There were endless runes on the folding fan. It was obviously a top-grade magic treasure. This guy is really disrupting the order of Tianfeng Pavilion. I'm catching him with the Pavilion Guardian Elder. I didn't expect the second miss to come. It's really... Before he could finish, Chi Siyu turned her head coldly and shouted coldly, "Shut up!" Chen Rufing's hand froze in midair. The smile on his face instantly became extremely ugly. A cold, killing intent emerged in his heart. She dared to scold him? No one had ever dared to scold him like this. But in an instant, his killing intent quickly disappeared. The other party was the second miss of the Chi family. He didn't dare to do anything. Second miss. The Pavilion Guardian Elder wanted to say something, but Chi Siyu's eyes emitted a piercing light as she stared at the other party. You dare to attack Lin Gongzi? Kneel down and kowtow to admit your mistake. What? The Pavilion Guardian Elder was stunned, and so were the surrounding guards. Everyone was stunned. Chi Siyu's voice was still echoing. Lin Gongzi is my Chi family's distinguished guest. Even my Chi family's patriarch has to treat him with respect. Who do you think you are? How dare you capture Lin Gongzi? Do you want to die? Chapter 3145. Plop, plop, plop. Upon hearing this, Elder Gu and the guards all knelt on the ground, their bodies trembling. Nailin Yinran, Qingqing and Feng Hao were stunned. The rest of the people's minds went blank, unable to react. What's going on? Isn't this kid an independent? Oh my god. He's actually an honored guest of the Qi family. Things are going to get interesting. That's right. I didn't expect that the pavilion protecting elder of Tianfeng Pavilion would actually anger my master's honored guest. Many people looked as though they were watching a good show, but even more people were shocked. They stared at Lin Xian, trying to figure out what this guy was. Nailin Yinran, Feng Hao, and Qingqing were stunned too. To be honest, this scene was like a dream to them. They suddenly recalled what had happened at the Thousand Herb Hall a few months ago. The Bloody Blade Monarch had been so powerful that he had even wanted to kill them. However, in the end, he had still groveled and followed Lin Xian. This scene was so familiar. Now, the members of the Tianfeng Pavilion and the Qi family were all standing respectfully by Lin Xian's side. These people were much stronger than the Bloody Blade Monarch. However, they were still no match for Lin Xian. Lin Xian was too mysterious in their eyes. Chi Siyu walked over to Lin Xian respectfully and spoke carefully when she saw the pavilion elder and the surrounding guards kneel on the ground. These people did not know the rules and offended Lin Gongzi. Lin Gongzi, please forgive them. Lin Gongzi can punish these people as he wishes. The Qi family will definitely satisfy Lin Gongzi. The pavilion elder and the others were trembling, while the rest of the people were shocked. Let Lin Xian punish them as he wishes? If Lin Xian wanted to kill these people, wouldn't it be a piece of cake? At this thought, they were shocked once again. It seemed like they had underestimated Lin Xian's status. Chi Siyu's face was cold, but her heart was filled with anger. Damn it, this group of trash. If she had come a little later, she would have been killed. Perhaps Lin Xian was about to make his move. Regardless of whether Lin Xian was injured or frightened, what happened next would be difficult. After all, the Qi family needed Lin Xian's help. This was because only Lin Xian could heal their patriarch's injuries. If they angered Lin Xian wouldn't treat their patriarch anymore. If that was the case, their old ancestor would not be able to cure him. If that happened, their clan's patriarch might die. That kind of loss was something that the Qi family could not bear. After all, that was a half-saint. Fortunately, she had arrived in time and the worst-case scenario had not happened. Now, it could still be remedied. Lin Xian stood there, gently swirling the wine glass in his hand. His expression was calm, as if he was not affected at all. To be honest, even if Chi Siyu didn't come, these people from Tianfeng Square wouldn't be enough to take him down with one hand. However, since Chi Siyu was here, it would be easier to handle the matter. He said indifferently, "The second miss of the Qi family is here. How can I, a guest, deal with this?" I'd better let the Qi family handle this matter. All right, Lin Gongzi, I know what to do. Qi Siyu turned around and stared at the pavilion guardian elder and the guards in front of her. Her cold voice rang out. Everyone's arms will be crippled, and they will be expelled from Tianfang Pavilion. If anyone else dares to provoke Lin Gongzi, they will be killed without mercy. The cold, killing intent reverberated in the main hall, and the entire space couldn't withstand it. The pavilion guardian elder and the guards in front of her were trembling. However, they heaved a sigh of relief in their hearts. Fortunately, they managed to keep their lives. Lin Gongzi, what do you think? Qi Siyu asked softly. Lin Xian nodded slightly. He didn't want these people to die, but he wanted an attitude. He was Lin Wudi, a top genius who had trampled the Netherworld King under his feet at Tianqiong Peak. How could these ants provoke him? A strong person should have the dignity of a strong person. A genius should have the pride of a genius. Otherwise, what was the point of cultivating and pursuing the peak of martial arts? After settling the internal affairs of Tianfang Pavilion, Qi Siyu looked at Chen Rufeng and his followers and frowned slightly. Chen Rufeng wasn't a member of Tianfang Pavilion. Although the Qi family was powerful, the Chen family wasn't a small family. Therefore, she couldn't go overboard. Qi Siyu said coldly, "As for you, Tianfang Pavilion doesn't welcome you. Please leave." Chen Rufeng's face changed and the surrounding people were in an uproar. Was she trying to chase them out? How could the eldest young master of the Chen family be chased out? Chen Rufeng's face darkened and he was trembling with anger. If this were to spread, he would definitely become a joke. This was a slap in the face. I'm the young master of the Chen family. Chen Rufeng gritted his teeth. Qi Siyu snorted coldly. Young Master Chen, do you choose to walk out yourself or be chased out by us? At the end of her sentence, a cold, killing intent appeared on her body again. Humph! Chen Rufeng snorted and his face changed color. In the end, he gritted his teeth and waved his hand. Let's go. He had no choice. The Chen family couldn't compete with the Qi family. Moreover, the second miss of the Qi family was like a little princess in the Qi family. He couldn't afford to offend her. However, he would remember today's grudge. One day, he would return it to her. And that Lin Xian. When he left, he took a deep look at Lin Xian with a cold, killing intent in his eyes. After returning, he would thoroughly investigate this kid's identity. If there was a chance, he wouldn't hesitate to take action and even send the family's experts to kill him. It was because of Chen Rufeng that he was so embarrassed today. Initially, Lin Xian didn't care about this little ant. However, when Chen Rufeng looked at him with a cold, killing intent, Lin Xian's face darkened. Wait a minute, he said coldly. Hearing this, Chen Rufeng and his followers stopped in their tracks. What are you trying to do? Chen Rufeng didn't say anything, but the followers around him roared angrily. Lin Xian snorted. Did I say you could leave? Damn it. Don't go too far. The followers around him screamed as if they had gone mad. Chen Rufeng's face was also terrifyingly dark. He said coldly, Kid, get this straight. I'm from the Chen family. Although the Chen family isn't as powerful as the Qi family, it's still a big family. Also, the people around me are the top disciples of the big families. If you provoke us, you won't have a good ending. Lin Xian smiled. You still dare to threaten me? You're just an ant in my eyes. I don't need to fight you. However, you've repeatedly unleashed your killing intent on me. I'm afraid you're going to send your family's experts to assassinate me when you return, right? How can I let someone like you live? When he said that, a cold light burst out from his eyes and instantly enveloped the entire area. The void trembled violently. The others felt their scalps go numb and were about to faint. Chapter 3146. That aura was too terrifying. Previously, they thought that it was because of the appearance of the second daughter of the Qi family. In their opinion, Lin Xian might not be strong. But now, they were very wrong. Lin Xian merely released a wisp of aura, and it pressured all of them to the point of being unable to breathe. Such a person was definitely a top genius. No wonder the Qi family valued him so much. Chen Rufeng's expression also changed, but then he sneered. Why? Do you dare to attack me? I'm not from the Tianfang Pavilion. Speaking of this, he stood proudly with his hands behind his back and a sneer in his eyes. He did not believe that Lin Xian would dare to attack him. If he did not see Qi Siyu, he would have to think twice before making a move on him. Qi Siyu said in a low voice, Lin Gongzi, Chen Rufeng's identity is not ordinary. Even I can't touch him easily. No worries. This time, I don't need the Qi family's power. I'll deal with him myself. Lin Xian strode over. Seeing this scene, Qi Siyu was stunned for a moment, then quickly followed. She almost forgot how terrifying Lin Xian's strength was. Not only was he an alchemist who could cure the patriarch's poison, but he also killed the demonic thunder ape with one finger. His strength was definitely top-notch. Although Chen Rufeng was powerful, he was probably not Lin Xian's match. Thinking of this, she heaved a sigh of relief. As long as Lin Xian's life was not in danger, he would be able to handle whatever happened next. What do you want? Do you dare to attack us? The young men around Chen Rufeng covered their faces with their hands. They were also furious. They had given Qi Siyu face before, but they did not expect Lin Xian to be so aggressive and even attack them. So what if they released their killing intent? They did not take Lin Xian seriously at all. Therefore, a few arrogant people directly jumped out. Are your hands cold? Let's see if you dare to attack me. Before they could finish, a big golden hand slapped the 5 of them to the ground with a bang. This time, Lin Xian used a little of his strength. The 5 of them were badly mutilated, and only their heads were intact. The 5 of them screamed miserably. His shattered body attempted to reassemble itself, but as soon as it did so, it was crushed by a massive foot. His body was torn to pieces, and his blood turned into a sea of blood that surged in the surroundings. The terrifying scene caused countless people to scream in fear. And the rest of you? As he spoke, Lin Xian waved his hand and grabbed another 4 people. Their bodies were completely destroyed, leaving only their heads behind. 9 people were screaming miserably on the ground. Their flesh and blood were a mess. Everyone was stunned. Even Chen Rufeng's eyes widened in disbelief. Although these 9 people's statuses were not as high as his, they were still disciples of large clans. If one of them was alone, he might not be afraid, but if the 9 of them were together, even he would not dare to act rashly. However, the other party actually shattered it without any hesitation. How could the other party dare to do that? Was the other party not afraid of the revenge of these great families? The others were also stunned, but when they saw that Qi Siyu was still there, they shook their heads slightly. With the Qi family around, perhaps only Lin Xian dared to be so arrogant. As expected, the disciples of the 9 great clans screamed, "Damn brat, we will definitely not let you off." That's right, even the Qi family can't protect you if the 9 of us join forces. Just you wait to suffer the wrath of the 9 great clans. Qi family, protect me? Lin Xian laughed. Looks like you guys are really ignorant. Let me tell you, I, Lin Xian, don't need the Qi family's protection. Not to mention you guys, even if the 9 great clans dare to provoke me again, I will destroy all of you. At this point, a golden light appeared in his eyes. In the next moment, the 9 heads exploded, and even their souls were directly destroyed. The sea of blood between heaven and earth also fell and scattered in all directions. The disciples of the 9 great clans were no longer breathing. What? Dead? Everyone was so scared that they almost wet their pants. Being severely injured and being killed were 2 completely different concepts. By doing so, Lin Xian was directly making the 9 great clans his enemy. Even the Qi family wouldn't dare to do so easily. As expected, Qi Siyu's expression also changed. However, Lin Xian said coldly, "I've said it before, today's matter has nothing to do with the Qi family. If there's anything, just look for me. I will definitely take it." As he spoke, Lin Xian turned and stared at Chen Rufeng. Chen Rufeng's pupils shrank. In the next moment, his expression became extremely ugly. He didn't expect Lin Xian to dare to kill the 9 of them directly. "Brat, you have completely offended the 9 great clans. Just wait for the wrath of the 9 great clans." Chen Rufeng laughed coldly. "All right, don't use the 9 great clans to pressure me. I don't care about them. Since you dare to release your killing intent towards me, You will have to suffer my wrath. You? Chun Rufeng laughed coldly. If it wasn't for the Qi family, do you think I would be afraid of you? Indeed, although Lin Xian's strength was strong, Chun Rufeng didn't care about it. After all, he was at the perfection stage of the 9 stars great perfection stage. If he wanted to kill the people around him, it would be as easy as flipping his hand. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about the Qi family. Just do it, as long as you can kill me. Of course, you have to think carefully about the consequences of attacking me. Now, kneel down and admit your mistake. I can let you live. Since you want to die, then don't blame me. Chun Rufeng snorted coldly. The energy in his body instantly erupted. With a loud boom, a terrifying aura pressured everyone, causing the surrounding people to retreat quickly. The Tianfeng Pavilion's formation was also activated. It's over. That brat is too arrogant. Yes, although he is strong, how can he be Chun Rufeng's match? Indeed, young Master Chun is at the perfection stage of the 9 stars great perfection stage. Although this brat is strong, he is definitely not young Master Chin's match. Voices of discussion sounded. They felt that Lin Xian was too arrogant. Without the Qi family's protection, how can this brat be Chun Rufeng's match? As expected, Nalan Yanran, Qingqing, and Feng Hao became nervous. However, Qi Siyu was not nervous at all. Back in the dark swamp, she had seen Lin Xian's strength with her own eyes. Since Chun Rufeng wants to die, then let's teach him a lesson. In front of him, a cold, murderous intent appeared in Chun Rufeng's eyes. He decided to kill his opponent with lightning speed. That way, he could vent the hatred in his heart. At that time, even if the Qi family blamed him, he would have the Chun family's protection. He believed that the Qi family would not stand up for a dead person. At the thought of this, the fan in his hand exploded with a terrifying light. Runes intertwined in the sky, emitting a terrifying aura. The entire sky cracked rapidly, causing countless large cracks to appear. Boom! He waved the fan in his hand and slammed it forward. Instantly, the fan expanded in the wind and directly swept across the sky, shattering the entire sky. The sky-shattering fan was a top-tier Dharma treasure. Someone screamed. It was rumored that once this fan was used, it could sever heaven and earth. Not many 9 Star Kings could stop it. Chapter 3147. It's over. This kid is definitely dead. With Chun Rufeng's strength and Broken Mountain, even a great perfection 9-star cultivator would not be able to stop him. What? He's actually so powerful? Everyone's expression changed drastically. Feng Hao exclaimed, "Brother Lin, dodge." Boom, boom. The heaven-shattering fan descended from the sky with an endless murderous aura. The entire sky was trembling, and countless voids were shattering with rumbling sounds. In an instant, it enveloped Lin Xian. Haha, go to hell, kid. Chun Rufeng revealed a ferocious expression. This time, he did not hold back at all. You're just an ant. Lin Xian sneered. In the face of such a terrifying attack, he only stretched out a palm and grabbed in front of him. The palm was extremely heavy, but there was no light flickering on it. Seeing this scene, everyone shook their heads and sighed. This kid is really courting death. Yes, if he dodged, he might be able to avoid this attack. However, he chose to overestimate himself and take it head-on. He would probably be smashed into a bloody pulp in an instant. Amidst everyone's mockery, the two collided. In the next moment, something shocking happened. The terrifying heaven-shattering fan was directly grabbed and then broken in half with a crack. That simple and unadorned palm pierced through all energy. Nothing could stop it. That's impossible. The surrounding people went crazy. Broken Mountain was broken. What kind of palm is that? Chun Rufeng's pupils constricted. He felt as if he was not facing a palm, but a true dragon that was firmly locking him in place. Damn it! Retreat. His expression became extremely ugly, and he was scared out of his wits. I was careless. My opponent is actually a physique tempering expert. Moreover, his physique was so strong that he could not imagine it. Retreat. Go. He did not dare to fight such a person in close combat. However, just as his body swayed, a palm grabbed his head. Damn it! Get lost! Chun Rufeng roared angrily. Countless runes erupted from his body, and a terrifying force soared into the sky. Lin Xian's body was instantly covered in battle armor, and his terrifying king's domain transformed into a huge mountain that quickly pressed down. He wanted to shatter Lin Xian's palm. However, all of this was futile. Lin Xian's palm lightly trembled, and his opponent's king's domain shattered. The other party's armor was filled with countless cracks and shattered into pieces. In the next moment, Chun Rufeng was pressed down by a palm and knelt on the ground. With a clang, a thunderous sound rang out, and the ground cracked open. The surrounding array dimmed, as if it could not withstand this power. What? Chun Rufeng was defeated. In just one move, Chun Rufeng was pressed to the ground. The surrounding people went crazy. They couldn't believe it. That was Chun Rufeng, a 9-star Great Perfection cultivator who had a top-notch artifact. How powerful was such a person? But in front of Lin Xian, he was as weak as an ant. Damn it! How is this possible? I don't believe it. Chun Rufeng screamed like a madman. He knelt on the ground, his body trembling. Get lost. With a roar, he used his secret technique. Violent power erupted once again, trying to break free from Lin Xian's palm. However, in the next moment, with a bang, his body was torn into pieces. A black light appeared from his broken body and rushed towards Lin Xian like a dragon. It was a flying sword the size of a palm. As soon as it appeared, it carried a violent aura and shook the power of heaven and earth. Obviously, it was a very terrifying forbidden weapon. Boom! In the face of such a terrifying attack, Lin Xian only waved his palm. Instantly, the flying sword was sent flying. The black flying sword was covered in cracks. This scene happened too quickly. It was so fast that the surrounding people were unable to react in time. Chun Rufeng was so scared that he peed his pants. How was that possible? How terrifying was that forbidden weapon? It could kill a 9-star Great Perfection cultivator in an instant. However, it was shattered by that person with a single slap. Who was that person? Could it be that he had surpassed the 9-star Great Perfection? Impossible. He would not believe it even if he was beaten to death. In the next moment, a hint of madness appeared in his eyes. A red cauldron rushed out from between his eyebrows and enveloped his head. Humph! He revealed a ferocious expression. Damn it! Go to hell. Boom! The small black sword that was full of cracks exploded with a loud bang. The terrifying power engulfed Lin Xian. Oh no! Seeing that scene, Qi Siyu's expression also changed. The surrounding people also retreated crazily. The formation of the Tianfeng Pavilion was activated. Countless rays of light shrouded in all directions, protecting them. However, even with that being the case, the entire spirit formation was still fluctuating violently. Cracks had even appeared in many places. It could not be helped. The explosion of a forbidden weapon was absolutely terrifying. An invincible king could not stop it at all. Countless people trembled when they saw that scene. It was over. That kid was dead meat. No matter how strong he was, he could not stop that destructive energy. No one below the half-step sink could stop it. Lin Gongzi. Qi Siyu's expression also changed. She wanted to control the formation to break the energy in front of her. However, at that moment, a cold voice sounded. The explosion of a forbidden weapon? Was that his trump card? How pitifully weak. What? Everyone was stunned when they heard that voice. In front of them, the endless energy was torn apart by a pair of large hands. Then, Lin Xian walked out. He did not suffer any injuries. There was not even a crack on his body. Heavens, how was that possible? Everyone went crazy. Qi Siyu was also stunned. Chun Rufeng even screamed crazily. Impossible. No one below the half-step saint could stop it. How did you do it? Could it be that you're a half-step saint? As soon as he said that, everyone's expression changed drastically. However, they soon denied it. Impossible. They had never heard of such a young half-step saint. Moreover, they could feel the power of a half-step saint. However, they did not feel the danger of a half-step saint from Lin Xian. Then what was going on? Perhaps he had a defensive treasure, such as a half-step saint artifact. If he used his full strength, he could really resist it. So that was what happened. Everyone was in a daze. How dare he use a forbidden weapon to self-destruct? It seemed that the lesson was not enough. Lin Xian took a step forward and grabbed forward with his palm. "Block it for me." Chun Rufing's body reassembled and activated the red cauldron above his head. The red cauldron was also a very terrifying treasure. At that moment, it shone with tens of thousands of rays of light and firmly protected him. At the same time, he quickly retreated. Boom! However, the speed of the golden fist was beyond his imagination. In an instant, it collided with the red cauldron. With a clang, the void in all directions shattered and countless formations cracked. Many people were bleeding from their ears, and their faces turned pale. Under countless horrified gazes, cracks appeared on the red cauldron, and then it exploded with a loud bang. No! Chen Rufeng was in despair. A jade pendant on his body flickered and enveloped him. A necklace on his neck appeared with 18 runes and wrapped around him. Those accessories were not simple. They were all top-tier treasures. At that moment, Chun Rufeng was using them without any regard for his life. However, under that punch, everything turned into ashes and ceased to exist. Chapter 3148. With a loud bang, Chun Rufeng's body split open again. This time, even his head was smashed. Whoosh! Amidst the sea of blood, an illusory figure fled into the distance. That was Chun Rufeng's soul. At this moment, he couldn't care about anything else. His soul hugged a bead and fled quickly. Trying to escape? Lin Xian sneered. He stretched out his hand like a five-fingered mountain and sealed the entire void, completely cutting off Chun Rufeng's path. Damn brat, you dare to kill me? I'm from the Chun family. If you kill me, the Chun family will never let you off. A mere Chun family can't threaten me. Lin Xian's palm slowly closed. Wherever it passed, nothing could stop it. Damn it! Chun Rufeng's soul hugged a red bead and suddenly let out a sharp cry. The red bead was covered with runes and turned into a soul attack. Go to hell. At this moment, Chun Rufeng used his full strength. If this attack hit, it could instantly destroy the enemy's soul. Soul attack. Chun Rufeng's soul attack was actually so powerful. Everyone felt their hair stand on end. Damage to the soul was very difficult to heal. Lin Xian's lips curled into a sneer. Soul attack? He really didn't know what was good for him. Buzz. Golden runes flickered in his eyes. In an instant, a ball of golden flame flew out. The soul attack was instantly broken. Not only that, the red bead in Chun Rufeng's hand also cracked from the middle with a bang and turned into a pile of ruins. Chun Rufeng's soul screamed crazily and rolled in the air. It was very painful. No. Damn it, you can't kill me. His voice was getting weaker and weaker. Stop. At this moment, a cold shout came from afar. Who is it? How dare you cause trouble here? Obviously, the commotion here had alerted the higher-ups of Tianfang Pavilion. At the same time, Qi Siyu also said, Lin Gongzi, please think twice. Chun Rufeng's identity is indeed not simple. However, Lin Xian didn't stop at all. There was still a wisp of golden light in his eyes. His cold voice came. Are you convinced? Yes, I'm convinced. Chun Rufeng kept begging for mercy. I was wrong. Lin Gongzi, you're a magnanimous person. I shouldn't have provoked you. I apologize to you. Please forgive me. These words shocked everyone. These people were all disciples of aristocratic families, so they naturally knew how proud and arrogant Chun Rufeng was. No one could make him lower his head. Even Qi Siyu had only managed to force Chun Rufeng away. But now, there was actually someone who had destroyed Chun Rufeng's physical body. He even tortured Chun Rufeng's soul. Chun Rufeng had no choice but to apologize. Beg for mercy. Lower your head. This was even harder to accomplish than killing the other party. Who was it? You still dare to make a move? Do you not put my Tianfang Pavilion in your eyes? The loud and clear voice echoed in the air. Then, a middle-aged man stepped into the air and arrived beside Lin Xian. He looked at his surroundings with a solemn expression. Damn it, someone actually dared to make a move in his territory? However, At the next moment, when he saw Chi Siyu, his expression changed and he called out respectfully, "Second Mississippi." The person who came was the pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion. He had been in the depths of Tianfang Pavilion, preparing for the upcoming grand event. Unexpectedly, there was a violent fluctuation outside. He even sensed that the protective formation of Tianfang Pavilion had shattered. This made him furious. Who dared to be impudent in their Tianfang Pavilion? Therefore, he walked out with an imposing manner. At the same time, he was extremely angry. What were the guards and elders of Tianfang Pavilion doing? Why did no one stop the great battle outside? When he arrived, he saw a young man emitting a terrifying aura, turning his opponent into a bloody mist. He even burned his opponent's soul. The pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion instantly arrived in front of the young man, wanting to take him down personally. However, at the next moment, he saw a woman standing beside the young man. That woman was the second miss of the Chi family, Chi Siyu. The pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion hurriedly bowed. At the same time, he saw their second miss respectfully persuading the young man in red in front of her. What was going on? Could it be that the person who made the move had a powerful background? Thinking of this, the pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion was shocked. He immediately withdrew his aura and stood to the side. What was going on? He hurriedly called one of his subordinates and asked in a low voice. When he learned that the elders and the surrounding guards had all kowtowed and apologized to the young man and were even expelled from Tianfang Pavilion, he was extremely shocked. The young man had such a powerful background. When he learned that the young man had instantly killed a genius disciple of the 9 great clans, the pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion felt like his scalp was about to explode. Who was this young man? How dare he kill a genius of the 9 great clans? Wasn't he afraid that the 9 great clans would join hands with him? When he found out that the person his opponent wanted to kill was actually Chen Rufeng, he was shocked. The pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion almost fainted from shock. At this moment, he even suspected that there was something wrong with his ears. Chen Rufeng. The young man wanted to kill Chen Rufeng. Furthermore, it was already the final step. Heavens! Chen Rufeng wasn't someone that a cultivator of the 9 great clans could compare to. He was the eldest son of the Chen clan. He was someone who had the potential to become one of the top young geniuses in the world. He was the hope of the Chen clan. Even the Qi clan wouldn't dare to touch someone like him, because once he was killed, the Chen clan would retaliate crazily. However, the red-robed young man before him had a calm expression, as if he didn't care at all. It was as if he was crushing an ant to death. He immediately broke out in cold sweat. Luckily, he didn't make a move just now. Otherwise, he would be a dead man by now. The pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion trembled at the thought of this. Meanwhile, Lin Xian smirked coldly as he looked at Chen Rufeng, who was struggling in pain. Are you convinced now? He knew that the young man wasn't being sincere. However, he didn't care. With a wave of his hand, a 9-story pagoda flew out and suppressed Chen Rufeng's soul within it. The next moment, his cold voice sounded. You may be spared from death, but you can't escape punishment. If you want freedom, tell the Chen clan to come to me with peerless spiritual herbs. With that, Lin Xian put away the 9-story pagoda. The others were stunned. What was going on? Did the young man suppress Chen Rufeng? He even threatened the Chen clan to exchange peerless spiritual herbs for him? Was this kid really going to start a war with the Chen clan? Everyone shuddered at the thought of this. At the same time, they knew that there was an earthquake. This was definitely a big deal. Many of them were extremely excited because they knew that a storm was coming. Ever since the battle at Tianqiong Peak, Cloud Return Planet had been quiet for a long time. They didn't expect a storm to erupt at Tianfang Pavilion again. Chapter 3149. The pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion was stunned. This was really a fierce person. He even dared to suppress Chen Rufeng. He even dared to threaten the Chen family. Thinking of this, he wiped the cold sweat on his forehead. Chi Siyu beside him heaved a sigh of relief. As long as he didn't kill Chen Rufeng, everything was negotiable. At most, the Qi family would step in. In short, no matter what, they couldn't let Lin Xian get hurt. Lin Xian didn't care about the reactions of the people around him. What Qin family, the 9 great families, he didn't take them seriously at all. To be honest, attacking Chun Roughing this time was also an accident. If not for the other party releasing killing intent towards him time and time again, he wouldn't have made a move. He knew that letting such a person go would cause a greater disaster. However, he could use Chun Roofing's life to make an exchange with the Qin family. He wanted to collect 1,300 kinds of spiritual herbs. Most of them could be collected by Thousand Herb Hall. However, some of the spiritual herbs were very precious. With Thousand Herb Hall's ability, it would probably be very difficult to complete them in a short time. But now, he could make the Qin family bleed a lot. In a while, he would distribute the spiritual herbs he needed. These people would definitely pass them to the Qin family. Thinking of this, he turned his head and stared at the middle-aged man beside him. He asked indifferently, "Just now, were you stopping me?" The pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion was also a 9-star perfection stage expert. He was extremely powerful, but at this moment, in Lin Xian's eyes, he was like an ant, trembling. Because he knew that this person in front of him was a ruthless person. He killed the genius of the 9 great families and suppressed Qin Rufeng. The other party was actually safe and sound now. One could imagine that the other party was very strong. It wouldn't be difficult to kill him. Moreover, looking at Qi Siyu's attitude, even if he killed him, the Qi family wouldn't have any reaction. Therefore, the pavilion master hurriedly bowed and said, "Misunderstanding. This is a complete misunderstanding. I didn't know that it was young master who attacked." As he spoke, he looked at Qi Siyu as if begging for mercy. Seeing this scene, Qi Siyu sighed and said, "Young master, this is the pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion." The pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion? Lin Xian raised his eyebrows and asked, "I remember that your Tianfang Pavilion is going to launch an extremely special cauldron later, right?" "Yes." The pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion didn't know why the other party asked this question. Qi Siyu's brows twitched. She knew that Lin Xian was an alchemist, and an extremely powerful one at that. To alchemists, what was the most attractive thing? Other than medicinal pills, there was also the pill cauldron. This was a necessary treasure for refining pills. From the looks of it, Lin Gongzi should be lacking a pill cauldron to refine pills. Thinking of this, she hurriedly said, "Pavilion Master Li, young master wants to see the pill cauldron. Why aren't you preparing it?" "Yes, I will go and prepare now. Please wait for a moment." Second Miss and Lin Gongzi. The head of Tianfang Pavilion turned around and wiped off the cold sweat on his forehead. Then, he hurriedly led people to make preparations. Soon, many pill cauldrons appeared in the spell formation. There were 10 of them floating in the air. Each of them exuded a mysterious and ancient aura. The light that hung down dazzled people. The young martial artists in the hall were still in shock, but soon, they were attracted by the pill cauldrons in front. These were all top-grade pill cauldrons. They didn't expect Tianfang Pavilion to be so generous this time. No way. Although Tianfang Pavilion was powerful, they couldn't take out so many pill cauldrons at once. "I think it should be an auction." Sure enough, this was a small-scale auction. Among the 10 pill cauldrons, only 3 were from Tianfang Pavilion. The other 7 were from other families or experts who entrusted Tianfang Pavilion to auction. There were indeed pill cauldrons. Lin Xian also revealed a trace of surprise. He raised his head and looked at the cauldrons in front. Golden light appeared in his eyes. The next moment, he instantly stared at one of them. That was a purple pill cauldron. Its design was very simple. As soon as it appeared, it attracted Lin Xian's attention. Golden light bloomed in Lin Xian's eyes. Staring at this purple pill cauldron, he seemed to see the runes on it flowing rapidly like a purple river surging. It also seemed like a purple abyss that could make one's soul sink into it. What a magical pill cauldron! Lin Xian was surprised. With a wave of his hand, that purple pill cauldron came in front of him. Lin Xian reached out a finger and lightly knocked on it. Dang! The sound was like thunder, echoing for a long time without dissipating. Not bad, not bad. This is it. Lin Xian was very satisfied. Seeing this scene, Qi Siyu heaved a sigh of relief. Great. Ever since she came, She hadn't seen Lin Xian smile. She didn't expect that now. Lin Xian finally revealed a smile. As long as the other party was satisfied, then everything was easy. Qi Siyu said with a smile. Since Lin Gongzi liked it, it was good. Second miss. The pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion looked like he wanted to say something but stopped. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian raised his brows. Why? Not willing? At the side, Qi Siyu also snorted coldly. Her beautiful face immediately turned cold. Damn it, what was this guy doing? It wasn't easy to make Lin Gongzi happy, but he didn't expect his subordinate to be so reckless. He even wanted to stop them from the middle? Seeing Lin Xian and Qi Siyu's darkened faces, the pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion was sweating profusely. He was so scared that he was about to cry. He said while trembling, No, Lin Gongzi, second miss, this pill cauldron has already been reserved by several people. Who reserved it? Oh right, this cauldron shouldn't belong to Tianfang Pavilion. Why don't you just buy it and give it to Lin Gongzi? Yes. The pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion wanted to say something, but seeing Qi Siyu's expression, he immediately shut his mouth. He didn't doubt that Qi Siyu would kill him on the spot if he dared to stop them. Young master, this is the information about this pill cauldron. Qi Siyu took a jade slip from the pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion and handed it to Lin Xian respectfully. Lin Xian took it and probed it with his soul. Then, he nodded silently. Purple Abyss Cauldron? This purple abyss cauldron was extraordinary. It was said that it was passed down from ancient times and was very precious. It seemed to have been used by a half-saint back then. Therefore, the price was also very expensive. However, Lin Xian didn't have to worry about this. Qi Siyu didn't say anything and bought the purple abyss cauldron directly. In response, Lin Xian accepted it without hesitation. What was a mere pill cauldron? If he cured the Qi family's patriarch, how many benefits would he bring to the Qi family? Therefore, this cauldron was just a side benefit. The real benefits were those precious spiritual herbs. Lin Gongzi, since you're here, why don't you stay for a while longer? Siyu had to treat young master well. Qi Siyu let out a beautiful smile. That was good too. Lin Xian nodded slightly. Then, he said, I have a few companions. Why don't you bring them along? All right, young master, I'll arrange it. Qi Siyu quickly asked the pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion to treat Lin Xian with the highest standards. As for Qingqing, Nailin Yinran, and Feng Hao, the three of them were also invited in respectfully. After these people left, the entire hall was in an uproar. Chapter 3150. Heavens, this is truly a peerless monster. To be able to make the Qi family's second miss so respectful, even trampling on Chen Rufing's physical body and suppressing his soul on the spot. This guy, everything he does is earth-shattering. Originally, I thought that with my peak 9-star strength, I could laugh proudly at those of the same level. Didn't expect that there's actually someone so much more powerful than me. These large family clans prodigies were sweating profusely. To be honest, they were completely convinced by Lin Xian today. What was called a peerless prodigy, what was called a heaven-defying powerhouse, Lin Xian gave them the best explanation. And those female martial artists' eyes were all shining. If only they could marry such a person. What kind of person is Lin Gongzi? How can he be delusional to a little girl like you? I've decided, even if I can't find a husband like Lin Gongzi, I'll definitely find someone like him. These beauties were really excited. This kind of indomitable, unparalleled hero who could trample all over the world. How could they not be moved? Lin Xian was invited into the depths of Tianfang Pavilion by Siyu, and the pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion, inside a majestic great hall. Accompanying them were Nailin Yinran, Qingqing, and Feng Hao. All kinds of exquisite dishes were served one after another. These were all abnormally precious ingredients. There was even flood dragon meat. One could say that it could not be eaten outside at all. Lin Xian chatted with everyone while splitting a portion of his soul into the black earth to study the purple abyss cauldron again. After all, this would be his pill refining partner for a long time in the future. He naturally had to familiarize himself with it well. As he observed at a close distance, he discovered that this purple abyss cauldron might really be a treasure. According to the records, this was left behind by a half-sage. However, Lin Xian did not think so. He discovered that although the remnant aura on it was already very faint, his soul force was still very powerful. Very soon, he was able to capture the remnant aura of true laws on the purple abyss cauldron. This was something used by a sage before. Sensing this point, Lin Xian was wild with joy. A pill cauldron left behind by a sage? What an unexpected surprise. Generally speaking, alchemy cauldrons were also divided into grades. For example, a king-grade alchemy cauldron could at most refine some pills required by a king-grade alchemy cauldron. It would be very difficult to refine the medicinal pills required by the semi-sage realm. As for saints, there was no need to even think about it. It was impossible to cultivate it. However, it would be different if it was a half-step sage's cauldron. The success rate would be greatly increased. If it was the cauldron of a saint, then there would be no problem. He could even directly refine saint-level pills. Therefore, Lin Xian now had the purple abyss cauldron, which could be said to have solved a big problem. While they were drinking and chatting inside, the hall outside changed again. Because Tianfeng Pavilion had another thing to do besides inviting the experts and disciples of these big clans, which was to hold an auction. Especially this time, they were auctioning off tin pill cauldrons. This news had been released long ago. Therefore, the grand meeting of Tianfeng Pavilion this time attracted many alchemists. At this moment, these alchemists came one after another. I've heard that there are quite a few good pill cauldrons this time. I must get one. Many Elixir King's eyes lit up. Is that so? I'm going to have one too. Anyway, there are many pill cauldrons, so we don't have to fight for them. These Elixir Kings were very happy. Suddenly, their eyes widened, revealing a trace of shock. Heavens, am I seeing things? That's Elixir King he too. Why is he here too? What? Elixir King he too? No way. He's a 9-star Elixir King. After the other Elixir Kings heard this, they were also extremely shocked. Although they were all Elixir Kings, they were also ranked. After all, the medicinal pills for kings to consume were divided into 9 grades. Elixir Kings were also correspondingly divided into 9 grades. The pills refined by a 9th-grade Elixir King were the best, and the success rate was also the highest. Therefore, the status of a 9th-grade Elixir King was very high. A 9th-grade Elixir King would attract countless big clans to treat him as a distinguished guest. The Elixir King He-Tu that these people were talking about was a 9th-grade Elixir King. Therefore, the moment he appeared, it immediately caused a commotion. Greetings to Elixir King He-Tu. The surrounding Elixir Kings all went forward and bowed respectfully. Elixir King He-Tu was a middle-aged man with a white face and no beard. His pair of swollen eyes were full of spirit. Although he looked young, his true age was already more than 1,800 years old. The arrival of Elixir King He-Tu made the surrounding Elixir Kings very shocked and excited. Because in their alchemy world, Elixir Kings were legendary existences. At the same time, they were even more curious. What heaven-defying treasure was there this time? Even Elixir King He-Tu was attracted. They didn't know. They only seemed to be auctioning pill cauldrons. Could it be that there was something special about this pill cauldron? Thinking of this, everyone was greatly surprised. Wait, that was Elixir King Blackfeather. Suddenly, another person screamed. The other Elixir Kings turned their heads one after another. In the next moment, screams sounded one after another. The young prodigies in the entire hall were also stunned. To be honest, when these Elixir Kings came, they had to accompany them carefully. No one would easily provoke an Elixir King, especially these Elixir Kings. Therefore, those Elixir Kings were also proud and arrogant. Even if the people around them were geniuses, they were also disdainful. These Elixir Kings gathered together alone. The others didn't dare to go forward at all. The genius disciples of the other clans could only watch from afar. Originally, they were prepared to go over later and curry favor with 1 or 2 Elixir Kings. This way, it would be a great benefit to their clans, and they would definitely be rewarded by their clans. However, before they could act on their thoughts, they saw those Pill King-level alchemists making a fuss over nothing. What's going on? Are these elixir kings crazy? Lower your voice. Don't you want to live anymore? But I really think that there's something wrong with their heads. The surrounding sky prides were dumbfounded by what they saw. Why would the elixir kings care about the thoughts of the people around them? They were too shocked. They saw an old man in a black robe walking over. The old man in the black robe looked very old, but his hair was incomparably black, which made him look very strange. If one were to take a closer look at the black Taoist robe he was wearing, they would discover that it was pieced together with black feathers. This old man was also called Elixir King Blackfeather. He was also a 9th grade Elixir King. When Elixir King Blackfeather appeared, even Elixir King he too revealed a look of surprise. He said in a deep voice, "Looks like you're also here for that thing." "That's right. I'm determined to get that thing," Elixir King Blackfeather said with a smile. "Humph." Elixir King he too snorted. It was obvious that he wouldn't give that thing away so easily. The surrounding alchemists were at a loss. At the same time, they were extremely excited. 2 Elixir Kings were competing. What was that thing? How could it attract 2 9th grade Elixir Kings? Chapter 3151. Both of you are quite early. At this moment, another laughter was heard. Everyone turned around and held their breaths in the next moment. This time, it was a woman in her 30s. She was wearing a fiery red long dress, which accentuated her graceful figure. Compared to those young and beautiful women, she was more mature and charming. Pill King Red Lotus. The surrounding alchemists screamed again. This woman was not an ordinary one. She was also a 9th grade Pill King. Oh my God! What were the 3 Tier 9 Pill Kings fighting over? Excuse me, but I have already reserved that item in advance. So, please don't fight for it when the time comes. Pill King Red Lotus said with a smile. Humph, do you think you are the only one who has reserved it? I have also reserved it. Pill King he too snorted. Pill King Blackfeather said with a smile. I have already prepared for it. So, let's compete with our wealth. The surrounding alchemists were excited as if they had been injected with chicken blood. The 3 9th grade Pill Kings were determined to get it, and it seemed like they were willing to spend a fortune on it. When the time came, it would definitely be a bloodbath. Soon, the auction began. Everyone walked forward. Other than the Pill Kings, the genius disciples of the big families also followed. Many people looked at the 3 figures in front of them, who were like moons surrounded by stars. They were very surprised. What's going on? Who are those 3 people? Why would the other alchemists be so respectful to him? I just received news that those 3 are 9th grade Pill Kings. What? 9th grade Pill Kings? As soon as these words were said, the surrounding prodigies screamed crazily. Their eyes were filled with incomparable shock. Not only could a 9th grade Pill King refine the highest 9th grade pill, but their success rate was also incomparable to other Pill Kings. If a family could have a 9th grade Pill King, the cultivation speed of the family's martial artists would be greatly increased, far surpassing the other families. Thinking of this, everyone's eyes were fixed on the 3 9th grade Pill Kings. They had to think of a way to win over these 3 people as much as possible. At the front, the 3 9th grade Pill Kings took their seats. The other alchemists also sat down one after another. At the back, the genius disciples of the big families could only sit at the back. However, they were already very satisfied to be able to watch it. On the auction stage, an old man walked up and started the auction. These people were already very familiar with the process of the auction. Moreover, these people had already investigated the situation of those pill cauldrons. Therefore, everyone started attacking their respective targets. For a time, the competition was very intense. The price was so high that the geniuses of the surrounding large clans were flabbergasted. Even if they were faced with such a price, the corners of their mouths twitched. They even discovered that the price of several pill furnaces was comparable to half of their family's assets. That was definitely a sky-high price. However, these Pill Kings were all distinguished guests of the various large clans. Their wealth could be said to be comparable to that of a nation. Therefore, even with such a high price, these people would not be intimidated. 7 out of the 10 pill cauldrons had already been opened. He was hit by 6 people. There was one person who won 2 in a row. His wealth was so great that it made everyone sigh in shock. Those alchemists who didn't get it shook their heads in pity. They were prepared to fight again. However, there were also people who were extremely surprised. Why didn't the three ninth-grade Pill Kings make a move? What did they know? What they bid must be their trump card, so it must be the last pill cauldron. Therefore, let's go all out and fight for the top 9. These Pill Kings made up their minds and made a move decisively. Indeed, when the 9th pill cauldron was won at the highest price, everyone was excited. They knew that the final treasure was coming. The 3 Tier 9 Pill Kings sitting at the front opened their eyes as well. They didn't care about the previous pill cauldrons because they didn't care about them. However, the last pill cauldron was different. They were here for the last pill cauldron because they had received news that the last pill cauldron was passed down from the ancient times. It was rumored that it was a pill cauldron used by a half-saint. To them, this was undoubtedly a supreme treasure. After all, they were already 9th-grade Pill Kings. One more step, and they would be half-step Pill Saints. At that time, they would naturally need more precious pill cauldrons. Therefore, this time, when a half-saint pill cauldron appeared, they must get their hands on it. Even if they couldn't become half-step Pill Saints in a short period of time, obtaining a half-saint pill cauldron would greatly increase their success rate of refining pills. The eyes of the 3 Grade 9 Elixir Kings lit up. Just as they were about to display their skills, the old man from the Tianfeng Pavilion on the auction stage announced loudly, "Everyone, the 9 pill cauldrons have been auctioned off. This auction will end here." What? Hearing this, all the Pill Kings were stunned. The auction was over? How was this possible? The 3 9th-grade Pill Kings hadn't made a move yet. The surrounding alchemists were all stunned. The 3 9th-grade Pill Kings stood up with a bang and strange flames rose from their bodies. They asked coldly, "How is this possible? Where was the last pill cauldron? Where was the pill cauldron that was passed down from the ancient times and rumored to be used by a half-saint?" The voices of the 3 Pill Kings were like thunder, exploding in the void. After hearing this, the surrounding alchemists' pupils shrank. It was passed down from the ancient times, and it was used by a half-saint. They sucked in a breath of cold air. It was no wonder that the 3 Tier 9 Pill Kings were all here as if they had been injected with chicken blood. They even looked as if they were determined to win. It turned out to be a half-saint pill cauldron. It was definitely something good. Indeed, only something like this could attract the attention of the 3 9th-grade Pill Kings. These people were amazed, but at the same time, they were even more confused. It seemed that there was a problem, because the last pill cauldron wasn't auctioned off. What was going on? Didn't they say there would be 10 cauldrons? Why were there only 9? Pill King Red Lotus frowned. Could it be that the 10th pill cauldron was stolen by them? Pill King Black Feather's face also darkened. The feathers on his black robe were emitting waves of black flames that were jumping and releasing a terrifying aura. Pill King he too shouted coldly, "Could it be that the Tianfeng Pavilion was making fun of me?" The 3 9th-grade Pill Kings were furious. On the auction stage, the auctioneer from the Tianfeng Pavilion looked extremely ugly. He quickly said, "Please calm down. We have our own difficulties in this matter. Please listen to my explanation." He didn't dare to offend the 9th-grade Pill Kings. After all, a 9th-grade Pill King had connections with countless families. There was once someone who offended a 9th-grade Pill King, and that person was an invincible peak-stage Pill King. He was very powerful. However, he ended up in a very miserable state. That 9th-grade Pill King had attracted the attention of dozens of experts from the major families and a few experts from the major sections. It wasn't hard to imagine the ending of the 9th-grade Pill King's enemy. Every 9th-grade Pill King had that kind of power. Therefore, even the Qi family behind the Tianfeng Pavilion didn't dare to go against a 9th-grade Pill King, let alone 3 9th-grade Pill Kings. Chapter 3152. Explain? Fine. I'd like to hear your explanation today. Pill King he too had a fiery temper. He snorted coldly, his eyes burning with rage. Pill King Black Feather and Pill King Red Lotus's faces darkened as well. They were usually high and mighty. Even the experts from the big families had to curry favor with them. Now, someone dared to make a fool out of them. The last cauldron, the Purple Abyss cauldron, had been bought by someone in advance. What? Who is it? The three Pill Kings were enraged when they heard the news. The old man had no choice but to briefly explain the situation. The three Pill Kings frowned. The Chi family bought the cauldron and gave it away? The Chi family was one of the top families. Even though they were Pill Kings, they did not dare to offend them. Therefore, Pill King Red Lotus frowned slightly and decided not to pursue the matter. However, Pill King he too had a fiery temper. He snorted coldly. Who did you give it to? The treasure was right in front of me. How could I not be angry? I also want to know who the Chi family is. Who is the 9th grade Pill King that the Chi family treats like this? Is it Pill King Red Flame? Or Pill King Blue Flame? No, it's Lin Gongzi, the old man said with a bitter smile. Lin Gongzi? Which Lin Gongzi is he? I've never heard of Lin Gongzi. How dare a brat snatch our treasure? Where is he? The three Pill Kings did not back down. Let him out. The other elders of Tianfang Pavilion saw this and immediately went to persuade them. At the same time, a few of them hurried to the depths of Tianfang Pavilion to report this matter to the second miss and the pavilion master. Second miss, pavilion master. Oh no. Outside the main hall, there was an urgent voice. Chi Siyu frowned. What's going on? She was entertaining Lin Xian here, but the people outside were making trouble for her. Seeing Chi Siyu's expression, the pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion quickly stood up and said, I'll go out and have a look. Soon, the pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion came out with a grave expression. What's going on? Chi Siyu frowned. The pavilion master looked at Lin Xian and said cautiously, Second miss, it's the 9th grade Pill Kings. 9th grade? What's going on? Chi Siyu's frown deepened. A Tier 9 Pill King's status was not ordinary. Now that the three of them were causing trouble together, something must have happened. Did the Tianfang Pavilion master offend them? Thinking of this, a cold light appeared in her eyes. The pavilion master. He let out a sigh and told her the whole story. Actually, it's like this. Previously, when we held the Pill Cauldron auction, we simply released the news of the 10 Pill Cauldrons. We also released the news about the Purple Abyss Cauldron, which attracted many Tier 9 Pill Kings. This time, the three 9th grade Pill Kings were here for the Purple Abyss Cauldron. However, the Purple Abyss Cauldron had already been given to Lin Gongzi in advance. That was why the three Tier 9 Pill Kings were so angry that they caused trouble. Chi Siyu frowned. She recalled that the Pavilion Lord of Tianfang Pavilion had said that the Pill Cauldron had already been reserved. So it was reserved by three Tier 9 Pill Kings. This matter was indeed a little tricky. She couldn't afford to offend Lin Xian. After all, she still had to rely on him to treat her patriarch's injuries. However, they couldn't afford to offend three Tier 9 Pill Kings. These people were of high status, so the Chi family had to deal with them properly. Lin Gongzi, take a seat first. I'm going out to take care of some things. Chi Siyu stood up and said softly. Lin Xian also put down his wine glass. I'll go with you. After all, this whole thing started because of me. Lin Xian did not expect that a Purple Abyss Cauldron would actually attract such a thing. But thinking about it, it was rumored that this cauldron was left behind by a half-sage. Those Tier 9 Pill Kings would definitely try their best to get their hands on it. However, the Purple Abyss Cauldron was already Lin Xian's. He couldn't give it away. Moreover, it wasn't used by a half-sage. It was something left behind by a sage. It could be said that it was a sage-grade cauldron. Lin Xian might not give it away, but he wouldn't stand by and do nothing. If he could help, he would help. All right. Seeing that Lin Xian wanted to go with them, Chi Siyu nodded. Let's go too. Nalan Yanran and the rest also put down their wine glasses. The group left the hall and headed outside. Outside, the elders of Tianfang Pavilion had a helpless expression. Facing the questioning and anger of three Tier 9 Pill Kings, they couldn't resist at all. They could only apologize carefully. But fortunately, they heaved a sigh of relief, because they received a message that Second Miss and the Pavilion Lord were on their way. Not long after, a group of people came from afar. Countless people moved aside. It was Second Miss and the Pavilion Lord. Those elders heaved a sigh of relief. Their backs were wet with sweat. After all, Facing 3 Tier 9 Pill Kings was too much of a pressure. Now that Second Miss and the Pavilion Lord were here, they had nothing to do. Therefore, these elders stood aside respectfully. The 3 Grade 9 Elixir Kings squinted their eyes and looked ahead. They naturally knew the Pavilion Lord of Tianfeng Pavilion. But beside the Pavilion Lord of Tianfeng Pavilion was a beautiful lady. She looked unfamiliar. But when they saw the pattern embroidered on the lady's clothes, they knew that she was from the Qi clan. And she was a core member of the Qi clan. The Qi clan was behind the Tianfeng Pavilion. They all knew this. And they already knew that the Qi clan had bought the Purple Abyss Cauldron in advance as a gift. She should be the second miss of the Qi clan. Pill King Red Lotus said lightly. Pill King Blackfeather frowned. He didn't understand. Who was that young man? He was very confused. The second miss of the Qi clan was already very noble, but she was accompanying a young man. Who was that young man? Was there someone more powerful than the Qi clan? But he didn't see the Qi clan's emblem on the young man. Moreover, the young man's aura was very obscure. He couldn't even see it clearly. It seemed that the young man was either an extremely powerful expert or someone with an extremely high status. But the three of them weren't afraid. They were all Tier 9 Pill Kings. If they worked together, their status and strength would be unimaginable. Even if it was the Qi clan, they would still dare to question why they were fooling them. So it's the 3 Alchemy Kings who have arrived. This little girl pays her respects. After coming to the front, Qi Siyu laughed softly and then bowed slightly. The Pavilion Lord of Heavenly Room Pavilion also came forward to greet them. Only Lin Xian stood there with his hands behind his back, looking at them curiously. Were these 3 Pill Kings of the 9th grade? He felt a terrifying and powerful flame aura from them. Pavilion Lordly, what do you mean? Why did you spread the news if you don't have the Purple Abyss Cauldron? Are you fooling us? Pill King He too said coldly. Chapter 3153. Pill King Blackfeather and Pill King Red Lotus looked cold. The Pavilion Master smiled bitterly. Qi Siyu explained, "It's like this. Due to some reasons, I bought this cauldron not long ago and gave it to someone else. It's not that the Heavenly Square Pavilion faked the news, but there's a reason for it. I hope the 3 Pill Kings can forgive me. Of course, the Qi family will definitely compensate you." Qi Siyu knew how important a 9th grade Pill King was. Even the Qi family couldn't afford to offend them. Instead, they tried their best to please them. Pill King He too snorted. "I heard that the second miss gave the cauldron to someone called Lin Gongzi. Who is this Lin Gongzi? Is he an alchemist? If the second miss gave it to another 9th grade Pill King, we won't say anything. But if the second miss didn't give it to an alchemist, then I'll fight for it." Pill King Blackfeather said in a low voice. Pill King Red Lotus didn't say anything, but it was obvious that she had the same idea. They had never heard of Lin Gongzi before. How could they be willing to give such a high-grade cauldron to a brat they had never heard of? What? Qi Siyu was stunned. She didn't want to drag Lin Xian into this again. The surrounding people were in an uproar. Oh my god, Lin Gongzi? Wasn't he the fierce man from before? They knew that Lin Xian had gone on a killing spree in the hall half a day ago. He had killed the geniuses of the 9 major clans, destroyed Chen Rufeng's body, and even suppressed his soul. How terrifying such a person was. Of course, they also saw Lin Xian take one of the 10 pill cauldrons. They didn't expect that the cauldron was left behind by a half-step saint. And these 3 9th grade Pill Kings were also determined to obtain that pill cauldron. That was why the scene today was like this. Lin Gongzi was a fierce man. He didn't even care about Chen Rufeng and the 9 major clans. Would he give face to the 3 Pill Kings? That might not be the case. Although the Qin clan and the 9 super clans were powerful, the combined influence of 3 9th grade Dan Kings might be even greater than theirs. No way, right? 3 Alchemy Kings were actually so terrifying? Don't forget, that was a 9th grade Pill King. Every Alchemy King had connections with many families. 3 9th grade Dan Kings could even gather more than 10 clans. It was too exciting. Who would have thought that the matter that had just calmed down would cause such a storm? How would this brat deal with it? Heh, I don't think he'll back down. He'll definitely make a scene. That might not be the case. No matter how arrogant this kid was, He wouldn't dare to fight against 3 ninth-grade pill kings at the same time. Everyone was talking about it. Chi Siyu frowned slightly. The pavilion master of Tianfeng Pavilion beside her was sweating profusely. Lin Xian was very calm. Hearing the words of the 3 Dan kings in front of him, he revealed a trace of surprise. "Oh, you want to see me? Who are you?" Although the auction was over, these alchemists didn't leave at all. They knew that the real big event was yet to come. As expected, they saw the second daughter of the Qi family and the rest. However, they didn't expect a young man to suddenly speak after the 3 ninth-grade pill kings finished their questions. "I'm naturally the Lin Gongzi you're talking about." "What? It's actually you." The surrounding people were all stunned. The 3 ninth-grade pill kings were also stunned. Then, a piercing light burst out from their eyes as they stared at Lin Xian. "You're that Lin Gongzi? The purple abyss cauldron is in your hands?" They were really too excited. Originally, they thought that Lin Gongzi was so far away that they wouldn't be able to find him at all. However, they didn't expect him to be right in front of them. Since that was the case, they couldn't miss this opportunity. They must get the purple abyss cauldron. "That's right, it's me." Lin Xian nodded slightly. The surrounding people exclaimed. The 3 ninth-grade pill kings were frowning. To be honest, until now, they had used all kinds of secret techniques, but they still couldn't see through Lin Xian's strength. They couldn't even tell if he was an alchemist. At this moment, the most hot-tempered pill king, he too snorted coldly. "Kid, take out the purple abyss cauldron. Name a price and I'll buy it. You're a young man and not an alchemist. The purple abyss cauldron is useless to you. I can give you an equivalent divine ability or weapon in exchange." Pill King Blackfeather said with a smile. Pill King Red Lotus next to him laughed. "How about this? Give me the purple abyss cauldron, and I'll make you a furnace of top-quality spiritual medicine for free." Hearing this, everyone was very excited. The 3 ninth-grade pill king spoke. This was a big deal. One had to know that a 9th-grade pill king's wealth was very high. Any random treasure they took out would make people jealous. They didn't expect this kid to be so lucky. The alchemists were very envious. Lin Xian was stunned at first, then he laughed. "Who said that I'm not an alchemist? Although your conditions are good, I don't need them. Since the purple abyss cauldron is already mine, the 3 of you can go back now." "What? You're an alchemist?" Pill King Blackfeather was very surprised. Pill King Red Lotus and Pill King He too were also stunned. The surrounding alchemists were all stunned and went into an uproar. This kid is actually an alchemist? Heavens, how old is he? Look at his bone age. Don't tell me he's an old monster. All kinds of strange flames appeared in the eyes of these people, trying to see through Lin Xian. The next moment, they exclaimed, "His bone age is too young. This is definitely a very young person. Even if this kid is an alchemist, he's probably an extremely ordinary one." The surrounding people looked at him with disdain. They were all pill kings. Although they weren't 9th-grade pill kings, they were still top pill kings who stood at the top of the alchemy world. How dare a young kid be so arrogant in front of them? This made them very unhappy. Especially the 3 9th-grade pill kings. They all laughed. "Kid, which sector you from? So what if you're an alchemist? The purple abyss cauldron is not something you can use. Just hand it over obediently. I see that your talent is not bad, so I don't mind taking you as my disciple." Where did you learn from? Which 9th-grade pill king? In their opinion, the other party might be the disciple of a 9th-grade pill king, which was why he had such an arrogant personality. However, that identity was useless in front of them. Lin Xian laughed when he heard that. "Take me as your disciple? I'm afraid you don't have that right." When those words came out, the crowd was in an uproar again. The eyelids of the martial artists in the distance twitched wildly. As expected, this guy was ruthless. He didn't even give face to the 3 9th-grade pill kings. It seemed that there would be a good show to watch. They were extremely excited, while the surrounding alchemists were furious. How dare he? How dare he speak to the 3 9th-grade pill kings in such a manner? They were really angry. 9th-grade pill kings were the top existences in their eyes. They had to be respectful when they saw them. How dare a young kid in front of them be so arrogant? It was really intolerable. Chapter 3154. As expected, the faces of the three Tier 9 Pill Kings darkened with anger. The flames in their bodies were like volcanoes that could erupt at any time. The Tianfeng Pavilion's pavilion master was about to pee his pants. Qi Siyu smiled bitterly. To be honest, she couldn't intervene at all. At this moment, a young man walked out. Tiny red flames danced on his body. Although they were weak, their power was enough to shock everyone. Kid, you're too reckless. How dare you talk to three Tier 9 Pill Kings like that? Do you know what a Tier 9 Pill King represents? Looks like you don't even have the right to enter our circle. His face was full of arrogance as he said this. The surrounding people exclaimed in shock. This is Pill King He2's disciple. That's right. I'm his master's strength. How can a kid like you understand? Another person walked out. This was Pill King He-Yu's disciple. The appearance of these two shocked the others. The disciples of the two Tier 9 Pill Kings were also very powerful. Among them, Pill King He2's disciple was a Tier 5 Pill King. Pill King He-Yu's disciple was even more powerful. He was a Tier 6 Pill King. Of course, he was older than the previous one, but it was already very terrifying, because the other party was only around 500 years old. He was young and promising. Lin Xian shook his head slightly. Oh, is your master very powerful? Can he cure the Qi family's patriarch's injury? Qi family's patriarch's injury? Everyone's expression changed when they heard this. Even the three Tier 9 Pill Kings were stunned. Because this was no secret. The Qi family's patriarch had been severely injured after he came back from the abyss 300 years ago. They had invited many Pill Kings to treat him, but none of them could cure him. Therefore, the entire circle of alchemists knew that even a 9th-tier Pill King was helpless against it. It was even rumored that the Qi family had paid a huge price to invite a half-step Saint Alchemist to treat him. In the end, he still couldn't cure him. Therefore, the Qi family's patriarch's injury had become the final conclusion of the entire alchemy circle. Unless a Pill Saint appeared, no one would be able to cure him. Therefore, Pill King He2's disciple snorted coldly when he heard Lin Xian's words. Of course they knew. It was better if no one knew. Even a half-step alchemy saint could not cure him. Only a true Pill Saint would be able to do so. However, Pill Saints were extremely rare existences. It would be very difficult for it to appear. The others nodded as well, because this matter was not a secret in the alchemy world. However, they were puzzled. Why would the other party bring this up? Could it be that the other party's master had a way to deal with it? What a joke. However, in the next moment, they were dumbfounded. Lin Xian said proudly, "You can't, but I can." These words were like a sudden clap of thunder, shocking everyone. They were all stunned. Heavens, what did this brat say? He could. Pill King He2's disciple almost spat out a mouthful of blood. After the others recovered from their shock, they burst into laughter as if they had heard the funniest joke. The three 9th-grade Elixir Kings snorted coldly, their eyes filled with disdain. Initially, he thought that the other party was an expert, but who would have thought that it was just an arrogant and ignorant brat? How could such a person contend against them? He was overestimating himself. Seeing the surrounding jeers, Lin Xian's expression was indifferent. Nalan Yinran, Qingqing, three people, on the other hand, were extremely shocked. They did not expect that Lin Xian actually had such capabilities. However, hearing those Elixir King's words, they were suspicious. Forget about them. Even the Tianfeng Pavilion's pavilion lord was also suspicious. Because this news of his was seriously too shocking. It was simply impossible to be true. However, at this time, Qi Siyu stepped forward and said softly, "What Lin Gongzi said is right. He indeed has a way to treat my ancestors' injuries." Ugh. Those Elixir Kings who were still mocking around instantly stopped laughing. The smiles on their faces became incomparably ugly. It was as if their necks were being pinched by someone, unable to breathe. How was this possible? Finally, that disciple of Pill King He2 screamed. This was impossible. Second miss, you wouldn't have been deceived by him, right? One had to know, something that even a half-step Elixir King could not do. How could he, a brat, do it? Elixir King Blackfeather's disciple similarly stepped forward. That's right, Second miss, you mustn't be deceived by his flowery words. To be honest, Chi Siyu also doubted it. However, after that incident, she asked her ancestor. Her ancestor was extremely happy, feeling that he had found hope. Chi Siyu was very confident in her ancestor. Since her ancestor believed in something, then she naturally believed it to be true. Therefore, she was incomparably respectful towards Lin Xian. At this moment, facing the ridicule of these elixir kings, Chi Siyu said coldly, "This matter was absolutely true. Lin Gongzi indeed had the ability to do so." The two outstanding disciples of Elixir King He Tu and Elixir King Blackfeather were so angry that they vomited blood. The surrounding Elixir Kings were also stunned when they heard this. At this moment, 3 ninth-grade Elixir Kings opened their mouths. "Little kid, what ability do you have to be able to bewitch the second miss of the Chi family? I'm afraid it's because of this reason that the second miss of the Chi family gave you the purple abyss cauldron. Humph. Misleading people with lies. With just you? You don't deserve the purple abyss cauldron." The 3 ninth-grade Elixir Kings were also enraged. They originally thought that the other party had some ability, but they did not expect that the other party was just a braggart. "Master, don't worry. I'll teach this kid a lesson." Elixir King He Tu's disciple quickly bowed and said. In the next moment, he walked out. "Kid, do you dare to have a match with me?" He wanted to expose Lin Xian in front of everyone. Hearing this, the surrounding people were interested. "Yes, we'll know after a match. This kid probably can't even refine a first-grade king-grade elixir. Hee hee, let's see how he'll embarrass himself then. Kid, I won't bully you. I'll use half of my strength to compete with you. How about it?" Elixir King He Tu's disciple was very arrogant. However, Lin Xian glanced at him and shook his head slightly. You're not qualified to be my opponent. Let your master come out." "What?" The surrounding people were in an uproar. "This guy is too arrogant." Elixir King He Tu's disciple roared in anger. "Kid, you're too presumptuous. Do you know who my master is? How dare you challenge him? If you want to challenge my master, you'll have to defeat me first." He was really angry. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back, completely ignoring him. He did not care about a mere 5th-grade Elixir King. One had to know that whether it was the Saint Breakthrough Elixir that he refined or the Chi family's Patriarch's Elixir, they were all at the half-step Saint grade. In other words, Lin Xian was definitely at the half-step Pill Saint level now. He did not care about a mere 5th-grade Elixir King. Not to mention this person, even the 3 ninth-grade Elixir Kings were not worthy of his attention. Chapter 3155. I've lived for almost 2,000 years, but I've never seen such an arrogant junior. All right, since that's the case, I'll make my move. Pill King He Tu walked out. Everyone was in an uproar. What's going on? A 9th-grade Pill King is going to make his move? "Master!" Pill King He Tu's disciple exclaimed in surprise. In his opinion, the other party couldn't even beat him, let alone his master. However, Pill King He Tu waved his hand. He seemed to have planned this beforehand. "However, there's a price to pay for fighting me. If you lose, you have to give me the purple abyss cauldron." "How about that? Purple abyss cauldron? No problem." Lin Xian waved his hand. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. The pavilion master of Tianfeng Pavilion also exclaimed in a low voice. In his opinion, it was impossible for Lin Gongzi to win against Lin Xian. In fact, Chi Siyu felt a little uneasy, although she knew that Lin Xian was especially valued by her ancestor. Moreover, she also knew that Lin Xian's combat strength was very strong. As for alchemy, Chi Siyu had never seen it before. "You really agree?" Pill King He Tu was stunned. Then his face was filled with joy. On the other hand, Pill King Blackfeather and Pill King Red Lotus's expression changed. "Oh no, I didn't expect this guy to have such an idea. Damn it, I was too late. It's over. Is the purple abyss cauldron going to be taken by this guy?" Both of them were very unwilling to accept this. However, the other party had already made his move. There was nothing they could do now. As for defeating Pill King He Tu, what a joke. They didn't believe that a young boy could win against Pill Kings of their level. Of course they were serious. Lin Xian said. But what if you lose? I lose? Ha 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 ha. Pill King He too looked up and laughed. If I lose, you can ask for anything. He too will definitely do it. All right, it's a deal. Lin Xian's eyes were shining with a cold and fiery light. If you lose, you have to give me a 7,000-year-old Heaven's End cliff. Heaven's End cliff. The surrounding Pill Kings were stunned. Pill King He too's voice, but his eyes were wide open. His eyes suddenly widened. What did you say? Heaven's End cliff? That kind of spirit medicine that was almost extinct. You want a 7,000-year-old one? Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. The other two Pill Kings were also stunned. This little fellow had such a big tone. What? You don't dare? Lin Xian glanced at him and said coldly. The purple abyss cauldron was at least at the half-step saint level. Could it be that it could not compare to a single Heaven's End cliff? A dignified 9th-tier Pill King didn't even have this bit of courage? Lin Xian shook his head in disappointment. This scene infuriated the surrounding alchemists so much that they wanted to vomit blood. Damn, you're just a little brat. Where did your confidence come from? Do you really think that you've won against Pill King He too? That was a 9th-grade Pill King. Get your facts straight. Sure enough, Elixir King He too also calmed down, and a smile appeared on his face. The Heaven's End cliff was indeed very difficult to find, not to mention a 7,000-year-old one. However, he had full confidence in himself. How could he lose to a brat? Thus, he did not need to prepare any Heaven's End cliff at all. He only needed to agree to this competition. All right, this old man agrees. Elixir King He too smiled. Words were no guarantee. Lin Xian waved his hand, and a blank jade slip bloomed in the air. Buzz. Lin Xian placed his conditions on the jade slip. On the other side, Elixir King He too frowned, but soon, she sneered and wrote her conditions on the jade slip as well. The jade slip shone brightly, and Lin Xian took it in his hand and handed it to Qi Siyu. Siyu, you can take this. Lin Xian was not worried at all that Elixir King He too would go back on his word. If Qi Siyu went back on her word, the jade slip would be announced to the world, and Elixir King He too's reputation would come to an end. By then, no one would dare to invite such a person. The others were stunned when they saw this scene. Was this guy courting death? Yes, if he reneged on his word and escaped. Or if the Qi family protected him, even Elixir King He too would not be able to do anything. However, if he wanted to sign a contract, the Qi family would not protect him. Not only that, he even dared to say that he could cure the Qi family's ancestral patriarch. If he lost, the Qi family would chop him into pieces. Elixir King He too's disciple sneered, "Kid, let's see how you're going to die." Lin Xian said calmly, "Tell me, what do you want to compete in?" He did not care about the competition at all. He did not expect to finally complete another stock. Among the 1,306 spirit herbs he collected, there were about 900 stalks. Although it was difficult to collect them, it only took a little time. The remaining 300 stalks were more precious, but they could be found easily if given to a big family like the Qi family. However, there were 5 stalks that were more precious. Some of them were even extinct. The Heaven's End cliff was one of them. Even the Qi family would not be able to find them in a short time. He did not expect to be able to solve it through a competition. What an unexpected surprise. What an arrogant kid. Elixir King He too snorted when he heard Lin Xian's nonchalant words. However, he was very patient. Soon, the purple abyss cauldron would be his. How about this? Refining pills is too time-consuming. Why don't we compete in fire? Compete in fire. The eyes of the surrounding Elixir Kings lit up when they heard that. Every Elixir King had to master fire, but each person's mastery of fire was different. As for the competition of fire, it was also a relatively common way for these alchemists to fight. The stronger the fire, the deeper the understanding of fire, and the higher the success rate of refining pills. This also reflected the elixir master's ability. Therefore, in their opinion, competing in fire would be able to determine the strength of both parties and their elixir masters. Elixir King He too's disciple raised his head, his eyes filled with confidence. He knew very well how terrifying his master's flames were. It seemed that the kid could not even take one hit. Elixir King Blackfeather and Elixir King Red Lotus frowned. This Elixir King, he too was a bully. Well, he's too cunning. He's one step ahead of us. Their faces were extremely ugly. Lin Xian was also taken aback, his expression strange. Competing in fire? One had to know that he had comprehended the power of fire that was close to the Tao. Moreover, this power was extremely terrifying. After going through the saint's residence and the cliff of enlightenment, this power that was close to the Tao was close to the fragments of the law of fire. At this moment, the other party dared to compete in fire with him. Was he not courting death? All right, as you wish. Lin Xian shook his head slightly. I'll give you a chance. Show me your strongest fire ability, or you won't have a chance. Kid, how dare you? This is what I want to say to you. Elixir King, he too roared. He had a bad temper to begin with. When he heard this, his lungs were about to explode. How dare the other party look down on him? Chapter 3156. The others were almost numb. They thought that Lin Xian was too arrogant and had a death wish. What do you know? My master's 7 flames connecting sky is a terrifying divine ability. Using this divine ability to refine pills will greatly increase the success rate. It's famous in the alchemy world. You don't know what's good for you. Just you wait. Elixir King, he too said coldly. Kid, don't blame me for not warning you. Hurry up and use your strongest skill. Otherwise, you won't stand a chance if I make a move. I've already given you a chance. Don't blame me if you don't take it. Elixir King, he too was almost 2,000 years old and was a 9th grade Elixir King. Why would he take the initiative to attack a kid? You want me to make the first move? Fine, I won't hold back then. Lin Xian shook his head slightly. It seemed that his opponent was the one who didn't know what was good for him. He stretched out his finger and a ball of golden flame danced on his fingertip. Then, he flicked it out gently. What was this kid doing? Everyone was stunned when they saw that. Instead of using his strongest divine ability, he flicked out a small flame the size of a soybean. Was he competing with a 9th grade Elixir King? Was this a joke? Elixir King, he too's disciple's mouth twitched. Oh no, his master was definitely angry. Elixir King, he too's face darkened. His aura suddenly erupted and swept across the 9 heavens. He was indeed angry. Even if his opponent was an ant, he would not show mercy. However, his expression changed in the next moment. Wait, that flame? His face became extremely frightened, and his body began to tremble. The monstrous sea of fire that rushed out of his body dimmed in an instant and was about to be extinguished. It was as if he was a subject worshipping the emperor. What was going on? Damn it! Attack for me! Elixir King, he too was stunned. He could not use the 7 flames connecting sky that he was so proud of. Damn it! He roared angrily and activated the armor on his body to form a strong defense. He wanted to take the attack head-on. Boom! Whoosh! The golden flame the size of a soybean hit the armor and then suddenly exploded. It turned into a golden sea that covered the sky and enveloped Elixir King, he Tuesday. In the next moment, Pill King, he too let out a blood-curdling scream as he was sent flying. His entire body was pitch black, and his hair was standing on end. He looked extremely wretched. The surrounding Pill Kings opened their mouths wide and their eyeballs almost fell out of their sockets. What's going on? Pill King, he too was defeated? This was impossible. How could Master be defeated? Pill Monarch, he too's disciple, was stunned. Pill King Blackfeather and Pill King Red Lotus were equally stunned. What the hell? How could he too be defeated? The pavilion master of Tianfang Pavilion was stupefied. The group of elders was stupefied. Chi Siyu was similarly stunned. The geniuses of the major clans in the distance were also stunned. For a time, the entire hall was silent. Who are you? Pill King, he too's voice trembled. No one knew that his armor had been shattered. This was a top-grade armor. Furthermore, it was most adept at defending against fire-type attacks. But now, a small flame had shattered it. What was even more frightening was that he couldn't even unleash the slightest bit of fire attribute power in front of that ball of flame. What kind of flame was that? Damn kid, how dare you use despicable means to ambush my master? I'll kill you. Pill King He2's disciple roared and charged forward. However, he was slapped into the ground in midair. Pill King He2 slapped his disciple to the ground and said coldly, "Idiot, get out of my sight." Master? The young man was stupefied. Pill King He2 snorted and knelt down to apologize. Plop. The young man knelt on the ground, trembling. He knew how hot-tempered his master was. The others were also stunned. Pill King Blackfeather and Pill King Red Lotus were also stunned. What was going on? Pill King He2, how did you lose? Pill King He2's expression was extremely ugly. He didn't answer but stared at Lin Xian, as if he was trying to verify something. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back and said lightly, "Remember, a 7,000-year-old Duantian cliff. Aren't you doubting whether I can cure the Qi family's patriarch? When you go to the Qi family, bring this spiritual herb with you. Otherwise, I'll take your head." At this point, Lin Xian's aura suddenly became fierce. It was as if a peerless divine sword had been unsheathed, causing everyone to gasp for breath. What a terrifying person. Everyone's expression changed. How could this young man's aura be so terrifying? Pill King He2's disciple almost fainted. He was too strong. He couldn't even withstand a wisp of his opponent's aura. Now, he was grateful to his master. If his master didn't save him, he would be a dead man by now. A top expert. Pill King Blackfeather and Pill King Red Lotus's pupils shrank. They didn't expect this young man to be so strong. However, at the same time, they frowned. Being strong in combat didn't mean that he was good at alchemy. Otherwise, why would they need alchemists? What? You two are not convinced? Fine, I'll give you a chance to fight. However, if you lose, you have to give me a western sand and a dreamy fruit. These were also two extremely precious spiritual herbs. Some of the Pill Kings had never heard of them. What do you think, Red Lotus? Pill King Blackfeather asked coldly. Isn't it just a dreamy fruit? Although it's difficult to get, I can still get it. Moreover, I also want to see why Hichu lost. Red Lotus said in a delicate voice. All right, then leave the Huan River sand to me. The two of them made their moves one after another. However, they soon experienced Pill King He2's despair. They also knew why Hichu was so shocked. Chapter 3157. Although they had to pay a heavy price, they were convinced of their loss. Don't worry, he too, am a man of my word. When the time comes, the Heaven's End cliff will be yours. Pill King Blackfeather and Pill King Red Lotus were the same. They had been famous 9th grade Pill Kings for a long time. Naturally, they would not go back on their word. Good. Lin Xian nodded. After dealing with the 3 extremely precious spirit herbs, Lin Xian turned his head and looked into the distance. With a wave of his hand, countless sword qi intertwined in the air, forming the names of the spirit herbs one after another. In the next moment, Lin Xian's voice sounded. I know that many of you have good relations with the 9 superclans and even the Qin family. I have suppressed Qin Rufing's soul and told Chanjia to come see me with the spirit herbs. See clearly, these are the spirit herbs. Tell the Qin family to get ready. Otherwise, I will take Qin Rufing's life. The entire hall was shocked again. The geniuses and disciples of the superclans were stunned. Earlier, they had thought that Lin Xian was only joking around. Who would have thought that Lin Xian would really do such a thing? They looked at the names of the spirit herbs in the sky and quickly memorized them. The alchemists around them were also stunned. What was going on? What Ruffung? After a brief understanding, they swallowed their saliva. Many alchemists began to tremble. This was a god of death. He too, and the other 2 9th grade Pill Kings were also shocked. Firstly, they were shocked by Lin Xian's methods and strength. He was too powerful. He even dared to provoke the Qin family and the 9 superclans. At the same time, they were even more shocked by the number of spirit herbs in the sky. There were only 100 of them. Moreover, these spirit herbs were very precious. This kid must be collecting spirit herbs to refine some kind of pill. But what kind of pill would require so many ingredients? They found it hard to believe. They felt that this medicinal pill had already surpassed their understanding. What a mysterious young man. The three ninth-grade pill kings shook their heads. They did not want to think about it. I will give the Chen family 10 days to prepare. Come to the Chen family to see me after 10 days. Lin Xian's figure flashed and disappeared into the sky. His voice reverberated in the hall. Was there going to be an earthquake? The Chen family would definitely not let this matter rest. The same went for the 9 super clans. The genius disciples in the hall quickly left the place. Some of them went to inform the Chen family, while others frantically collected information on Lin Xian. Who was it that dared to be so arrogant? Pill King He too, and the others took a deep breath. Let's go. Pill King Blackfish smiled wryly. Of course, I promised you a cleansing creek muslin. That's not easy to find. Pill King Red Lotus smiled bitterly as well. Her enchanting face was filled with bitterness. She also agreed to a dreamy fruit. It seemed that he would have to put in a lot of effort to get it. These alchemists also left one after another. There was no need to think. From today onwards, Return Cloud Planet's alchemy world would definitely stir up a storm. Because of Lin Xian's powerful arrival, these alchemists went crazy. After everyone left, the pavilion master of the Tianfeng Pavilion asked in a trembling voice, "Second miss, who is this Lin Gongzi?" "Him?" Chi Siyu shook her head slightly. "I don't know either." But in her heart, she was amazed. This was probably a legend. Lin Xian gave her too much of a shock. Today, he fought with 3 ninth-grade pill kings and won easily. This scene shocked Chi Siyu. This was not something a ninth-grade pill king could do. Only a half-step pill saint who surpassed a ninth-grade pill king, or a true pill saint, could do it. Lin Xian had reached a height that she could only look up to. At the same time, she was wild with joy. The stronger Lin Xian was, the more likely it was that their patriarch's injury could be cured. Therefore, Chi Siyu decided to stand firmly on Lin Xian's side in the future. She would not let Lin Xian suffer the slightest bit of harm. Nalan Yanran and the others were also stunned. Previously, Lin Xian was already very powerful in their hearts. However, today's scene made them realize that Lin Xian was like a mystery. The closer they got, the more they could not see clearly. A bitter smile appeared on Nalan Yanran's beautiful face. Originally, she wanted something to happen between her and Lin Xian. But now, it seemed that it was impossible. Such a person was too powerful. He was so powerful that she could only look up to him. She glanced at Chi Siyu and sighed in her heart. Perhaps even the second daughter of the Qi family did not have such a chance. She wondered what kind of woman was worthy of such a peerless genius. Lin Xian had left, but the storm was still raging on. What happened in Heavenly Square Pavilion spread at an extremely fast speed. In an instant, the entire northern continent knew about it. They were shocked. Not only that, but a storm was also set off in the alchemy world. A mysterious top alchemist had easily defeated 3 ninth-grade pill kings. This news stunned them. After the Chen family received the news, they went completely crazy. Chen Rufeng was the hope of the Chen family. He was a top genius who could enter the ancient path of the starry sky in the future. Who dared to touch him? No one in the entire northern continent dared to touch him. But now, Chen Rufeng's physical body was destroyed and his soul was suppressed. He could even be killed at any time. This was unacceptable to the Chen family. Damn it, we must catch the culprit. Tear him into pieces. The Chen family's experts roared crazily. However, some elders shook their heads. No, we can't be rash. Feng Er's soul is still in the hands of the culprit. If we act rashly, the culprit will directly kill Feng Er's soul. In that case, Feng Er will be completely killed. He will never be able to be resurrected. This is not the outcome we want to see. Yes, that's right. We have to save Feng Er first. Then, we will tear that kid into pieces. The Chen family's experts discussed quickly. The Chen family's patriarch was a very dignified middle-aged man. He said coldly, "Let's work together with the 9 great families." Didn't he want the elixirs? Then let's get the elixirs for him. Let's see if he has the life to enjoy them. Hearing the Qin family's patriarch's words, the experts' lips curled into a sinister smile. They knew that the kid who provoked them was dead meat. Even if he had the Qi family's help, it would not be enough. In order to prevent the Qi family from interfering, let's quickly work together with the 9 great families. After collecting all the elixirs he needs, we will send a large group of experts to assassinate him secretly. As long as that kid hands over Feng Er's soul, we will kill him mercilessly. Soon, the Qin family's patriarch and the 9 great families' elders and experts met secretly. The 9 great families collected those elixirs like crazy. Under such crazy collection, all the elixirs that Lin Xian needed were collected. Is it done? Then it's time for us to act. The Qin family's patriarch's lips curled into a cold smile. Chapter 3158. Family Head Qin. What should we do? The elders of the 9 families asked. Family Head Qin sneered. Of course, they would send a large group of experts to attack him. Judging from his appearance, he should be a top expert at the king level, and he had a good relationship with the Qi family. There should be other experts guarding him. But so what? This time, the people we sent out were absolutely rude. Even if there were experts from the Qi family, they could kill him in one blow. By then, would the Qi family start a war with him for a dead person? How many experts would Family Head Qin send? The elders of the 9 families asked. Family Head Qin said coldly, I will send 10 experts at the great fulfillment of the invincible realm, and I will personally lead the team. The elders of the 9 super clans were stunned for a moment before they sucked in a cold breath of air. That was a big move. 10 experts at the great fulfillment of the invincible realm, and Family Head Qin himself was a top expert. This battle prowess could be said to be extremely strong. No one in the younger generation could resist it. Great. The 9 families will send 50 experts at the great fulfillment of the invincible realm, the elders said with a smile. Family Head Qin nodded slightly. Good, then we will go back and gather the experts. A day later, 50 experts at the great fulfillment of the 9 families appeared in the Qin family. Family Head Qin led 10 experts at the great fulfillment of the invincible realm. In front of them, there was a purple spiritual boat that was emitting a mysterious light. This spiritual boat was called the Hidden Spiritual Boat. It could hide in the void, and the invincible realm experts could not detect it. By then, you will hide in this spiritual boat and follow me. After I exchange Feng Er's soul, we will kill him. Great. The experts of the 9 families all laughed. With the hidden spiritual boat, that kid would definitely not discover it. When they attacked, even if that kid had 100 lives, it would not be enough to kill him. Hee, this kid provoked us again. Let's see how he will die this time. Humph, it won't be that easy for him to die. We will skin him alive and torture him for 100 years. I will let him know the consequences of going against us. Family Head Qin's expression was extremely cold. In the next moment, all the experts boarded the hidden spiritual boat, while Family Head Qin rose into the air and flew into the distance. Tianfeng Pavilion. Lin Xian was cultivating in a secret room when his brows suddenly twitched. Because his soul perceived that a flying sword was descending from the sky and heading straight for Tianfeng Pavilion. Wang. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. A huge golden hand formed above the Tianfeng Pavilion and grabbed the flying sword. In the next moment, he disappeared. In the secret chamber, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. In front of him was a black flying sword with a jade slip on it. Zhang Xian sent his primordial spirit into the jade slip and received a set of information. 1,000,000 miles away, in the Divine Wolf Valley, they were exchanging spirit medicines and Feng Er's soul. Lin Xian smiled when he heard the news. He knew that it was probably someone from the Qin family. Who would have thought that the Qin family would have such means? In such a short time, he was able to collect all the spirit herbs that he wanted. What an unexpected surprise! Lin Xian did not know at this moment that not only the Qin family, but the 9 great families also went all out and spared no expense to complete the collection in a short time. However, this did not matter to him, because whether it was the Qin family or the 9 great families, he did not take them seriously at all. Divine Wolf Valley a million miles away? Lin Xian soared into the sky and left Tianfeng Pavilion. He identified a direction and flew into the distance. A million miles away, in the Divine Wolf Valley. This was a very famous valley. Rumor had it that back then, a monstrous great demon once cultivated here. In the end, that great demon king went to the extraterrestrial region, and this valley was left behind and was called the Divine Wolf Valley by later generations. At this moment, in the Divine Wolf Valley, stood a middle-aged man in a black robe. He had his hands behind his back, his expression cold and his eyes flickering with a piercing cold light. He was the Chun family's family head. Apart from him, in the void near the Divine Wolf Valley, there was a purple spirit boat hidden. It was the hidden spiritual boat. There were 69-star perfection powerhouses in the hidden spiritual boat. A 9-star great perfection expert was already very terrifying and heaven-defying. If 60 of them appeared together, they could really crush everything. Therefore, this was also the reason why the Chen family's family head rushed over to exchange with Lin Xian. In his opinion, even with the Qi family's protection, he would not be able to withstand their thunderous attack. Oh, here it comes. In the valley, the Chen family's family head raised his head, and a piercing cold light burst out from his eyes. He sensed that there was an aura rushing over quickly. Not long after, a black figure descended from the sky and landed in the valley. You are that Lin Xian? Murderous intent appeared in the Chen family's family head's eyes as he stared at the young man in a red robe in front of him. That's right, I am. Have you brought the item? After Lin Xian landed, he asked indifferently. The spiritual medicine is here. I want to take a look at Feng first. The Chen family's family head waved his hand and a black ring appeared in front of him and kept floating. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian also waved his hand and a 9-story pagoda appeared inside. There was an illusory figure inside. The figure floated inside the 9-story pagoda. When he saw the middle-aged man outside, he immediately revealed a look of joy. Father, save me. Feng. The Chen family's family head's pupils constricted. He did not expect that Chen Rufing's soul would also be severely injured. At this moment, he had become so weak. In the next moment, an extremely terrifying aura erupted from his body, and the entire valley trembled. A terrifying power enveloped everything. However, Lin Xian was not afraid at all. He said coldly, Why? Do you want to fight? Try it. If you dare to move, I will destroy Chen Rufing's body and soul. Damn brat, how dare you? The Chen family's family head roared angrily, but he still did not make a move. Because he was not 100% confident that he could save Chen Rufeng. Moreover, he had already made arrangements. Now was not the time to make a move. He withdrew his murderous intent and said coldly, Let Feng go. Sure, but I want to test the medicine first. The Chen family's family head waved his hand, and the black ring beside him flew over. He was not worried that the other party would escape because there was an inescapable ambush around. After Lin Xian received the black ring, his soul force immediately probed it. Then, he nodded in satisfaction. The head was right. 280 spiritual herbs. Moreover, they were all very old and met his requirements very well. Lin Xian transferred all the spiritual herbs into the black earth and then shattered the storage ring. In the next moment, he waved his hand, and the 9-story pagoda trembled, releasing Chen Rufing's soul. Father. Chen Rufing's soul quickly left and came to the Chen family's family head's side. The Chen family's family head heaved a sigh of relief. He quickly took out a blue gourd and carefully kept Chen Rufing's soul. It was a spirit-nourishing gourd. It was a very precious magic treasure that could nourish a person's soul. At this moment, it was the most suitable for Chen Rufeng. After carefully keeping it, the Chen family's family head heaved a sigh of relief. In the next moment, he looked at Lin Xian, and a piercing cold light burst out from his eyes. Chapter 3159. Kid, how dare you hurt my Feng and demand such an exorbitant price? Do you really think my Chen family is a pushover? Today, I'll make you pay the price in blood. Oh, what do you want? Lin Xian originally wanted to leave, but when he heard this, he turned around and snorted coldly. Your son was the one provoking me throughout the entire process, and I was forced to make a move. Why, you want to stand up for your son? You? Lin Xian's eyes were filled with disdain. He could tell that the other party was a 9-star perfected stage powerhouse, and his strength could be said to be very terrifying. But in front of him, he was like an ant. Seeing the disdain in Lin Xian's eyes, the Chun family's patriarch was completely enraged. Damn it, I was actually looked down on by a kid? How can I tolerate this? As the patriarch of the Chen family, his status was extremely noble, and he's a 9-star perfected stage cultivator. How terrifying is his strength? Who dares to look down on me? Even the Qi family wouldn't dare to look down on me. Even Qi Siyu would have to respectfully call me senior in front of me. But now? How dare he look down on me? The Chun family's patriarch felt like his lungs were about to explode. He was so angry that he laughed. Good kid, you're really arrogant. No wonder you dare to go against my Chen family. However, you're too reckless. Do you really think I came here on my own? Oh, do you have a helper? Then hurry up and call him out. Lin Xian wasn't surprised at all. He had long seen that there was a spirit boat hidden in the void outside, although it was hidden very well, and no one in the King realm knew about it. However, Lin Xian's soul was extremely powerful. In addition, the heavenly secret divine eyes were unparalleled, so he had long seen through it. However, with his strength, he wasn't afraid at all. As long as it wasn't a true half-sage or sage, no one could defeat him. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. The Chun family's patriarch waved his hand and said coldly, Come in. In the distance, the void broke open, and a purple spirit boat rushed in and floated above the valley. In the next moment, the door of the spirit boat opened, and figures floated in the void like gods and demons. They descended quickly. Boom, boom. The earth trembled and the void shattered. One figure after another descended from the sky, bringing with them a terrifying force. 1, 2, 3, and so on. There were a total of 60 figures, and each of them had an aura that coiled around them like a dragon. With a raise of his hand, he could shatter the void. 69 star perfection experts, including the Chun family's patriarch, there were 61 of them. This was definitely an incomparably terrifying force. Most likely, anyone here would be scared *. Brat, I know that you have a good relationship with the Qi clan. Let the hidden experts of the Qi clan come out. The patriarch of the Chen clan said loudly. With 60 perfect earthly sovereigns standing beside him, he was very confident that he could control the entire situation. Lin Xian was also surprised. He had not expected that there would be 60 great fulfillment experts hidden in the spirit boat. In the next moment, his gaze turned gloomy, and a biting cold killing intent erupted from his eyes. It seemed that the other party did not intend to let him live. If he wasn't strong enough, he probably wouldn't have been able to escape today. Since the other party wanted to kill him, then don't blame him. An expert from the Qi clan? There are no Qi clan experts. I came here myself. Lin Xian shook his head slightly. What? As soon as he said that, the 60 perfect earthly sovereigns opposite him were stunned. The patriarch of the Chen clan was also stunned. Then he looked up to the sky and laughed. Brat, I don't know if you're really an idiot or just too confident. How dare you come here alone? If that's the case, then kneel on the ground obediently. Not only him, but the experts behind him also laughed. How could a young brat come here alone and face so many of them? How could he possibly survive? Any one of them would probably be able to crush him. The best thing for him to do now was to kneel down obediently, kowtow, admit his mistake, and beg for mercy. However, even so, they would not let him off. They would use the cruelest method to torture him to death. Brat, don't worry, we won't kill you. We have 1,000 ways to make you suffer a fate worse than death. Humph. How dare you kill the geniuses of the 9 superclans? Today, you won't be able to leave. Those experts snorted coldly. The patriarch of the Qin clan also sneered. Now you know how powerful the Qin clan and the 9 superclans are, right? How dare you hurt my Feng Er? I'll make you pay a painful price. With just you? You want to make me pay a painful price? You really don't know what's good for you. Lin Xian shook his head in disdain. They were just a bunch of 9 perfect earthly sovereigns. What was there to be afraid of? One must know that he had comprehended 2 types of power that were close to the Tao. Among them, the power of fire was close to the power of laws. This power had completely surpassed that of a king. No matter how many perfect earthly sovereigns came, they would not be able to compete with him at all. Therefore, in front of him, the 61 perfect earthly sovereigns were no different from ants. You're about to die, and you're still so stubborn? Brat, it seems like you won't cry until you see the coffin. The experts of the 9 super clans snorted coldly. Immediately, 2 perfect earthly sovereigns walked out. Since you won't admit your mistake obediently, then we'll break your legs and make you kneel on the ground. Then, we'll cut off your flesh piece by piece. The 2 perfect earthly sovereigns revealed sinister smiles. They were not careless and attacked together. This was because they knew that the other party was definitely a genius since he could injure Chen Rufeng. However, so what if he was a genius? Could he beat the 2 of them together? Buzz. One of them opened his mouth and spat out a blood-colored wave of air. It turned into a sea of blood and rolled forward. The sea of blood was extremely terrifying. Even a 9-star sovereign would melt instantly if he touched it. The other expert stretched out a large palm. The clouds that filled the sky followed the palm and fell from the sky. It was like a world. The 2 superpowers rushed toward Lin Xian in an instant. Just the 2 of you? You're courting death. Lin Xian snorted in disdain. His body shone brightly like a golden god of war. With a wave of his arm, boundless golden flames spread and turned into 2 large golden hands in the sky. Boom! The sea of blood in the sky was shattered. The 2 large golden hands grabbed the bodies of the 2 perfect earthly sovereigns and then slammed them to the ground. With a boom, the ground shattered, and terrifying cracks appeared in all directions. The bodies of the 2 perfect earthly sovereigns were shattered, and they knelt in front of Lin Xian. You want me to kowtow and admit my mistake? Kneel in front of me and accept your death. Lin Xian's cold voice sounded. What? Seeing this scene, the surrounding perfect earthly sovereigns were all stunned. Their eyes were wide open as if they had seen a ghost. They could not believe it at all. How was this possible? The 2 perfect earthly sovereigns who were pressed to the ground screamed crazily. Damn it! Get lost! However, no matter how they roared or resisted, they could not break free. They could only kneel on the ground. A bunch of ants. How dare you be arrogant in front of me? All of you, kneel and accept your death. I can leave your corpses intact. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. Chapter 3160. On the other side, the Chun family head's face darkened. Damn it, don't be careless. This kid is an expert. Let's attack together. Yes, this time, 10 people walked out. Each of them was like a mountain, with the momentum of Mount Tai. As soon as they appeared, the entire space of heaven and earth froze. Heaven and earth quickly shattered. The 10 people took a step forward, and the void within a million miles shattered. The pressure was too great. 9 Star Kings couldn't bear it at all. However, Lin Xian stood there and sneered. His body was not affected in the slightest. A mere 10 people dared to be arrogant in front of him? One had to know that his 9-yang divine body had reached the half-step sage realm. Even the power that was close to the Tao couldn't hurt him, let alone these people. Buzz. The 10 perfect perfection powerhouses attacked, and they used their peerless divine abilities. Terrifying energy filled heaven and earth, and they attacked Lin Xian together. Facing such a terrifying attack, Lin Xian only said 2 words, annihilate. In the next moment, the divine abilities that filled the sky disintegrated and disappeared without a trace. The bodies of the 10 perfect perfection powerhouses trembled, and then they exploded, turning into clouds of blood mist that scattered in all directions. What? Dead. When the other powerhouses saw this scene, their eyeballs almost popped out. Many people were so scared that they wet their pants. The Qin family head and the elders of the 9 great families also felt their scalps go numb. Damn it, what was going on? Where were the 10 powerhouses? If they were shocked when Lin Xian made 2 perfect perfection powerhouses kneel down. Now, this scene directly scared them silly. They didn't see Lin Xian make a move. Those were 10 kings of the consummate level. Even if he wanted to kill them, he should have fought until the heavens shook and the earth shattered. But there was nothing. The other party only said 2 words, and the 10 top powerhouses on their side were killed. There wasn't even a trace of resistance. Damn it, what kind of divine ability did this kid use? Many people were terrified. The Qin family head shook his head frantically. Impossible. He couldn't be so strong. There was an expert from the Qi family in the dark. Once these words were spoken, everyone acted as if they were facing a great enemy. They all propped up their king's spirit domain, and some even took out more than 10 killing arrays, enveloping the entire Divine Wolf Valley. Chen Rufeng said ferociously from the blue gourd, "Father, don't hesitate anymore. Let's attack together and kill him quickly." When the Qin family's patriarch heard this, he flipped his hand and took out a disc array. Then, he set up an array formation. He said, "Everyone, let's attack together. I've used this formation to isolate the entire valley. That brat definitely won't be able to escape." These people nodded. The remaining dozens of invincible kings walked forward together. This time, they did not hold back. Even the patriarch of the Chen clan had drawn his sword. In front of him, Lin Xian also moved. With a wave of his hand, 2 large golden palms slammed down, turning the 2 kneeling kings into a bloody mist. Wong. Golden flames danced on his body. Sword come. With a cold shout, the endless flames condensed into a light sword, which he held in his hand. Chop. As he spoke, the flaming sword in his hand continued to grow in size. Like a flaming dragon, it slashed down. Boom. Flames surged into the sky, and a terrifying storm danced. The sky was instantly split into 2 halves. There were monstrous flames and terrifying sword chi everywhere. The divine abilities unleashed by the dozens of kings in the Great Circle were all being burned and shattered. Damn it! How is this possible? Their scalps went numb. The elders shrieked as if they had gone mad. This aura, their bodies couldn't bear it at all, and they couldn't help but want to kneel down. A power that was close to Tao. This was a power that was close to Tao. Finally, one of the elders screamed. What? A power that was close to Tao? These kings were all crazy. How could he have this kind of power? Who on earth was he? How could they not be shocked? One had to know that although they were 9 stars perfection powerhouses, in front of a power that was close to Tao, they were like ants. They couldn't withstand a single blow. Only by comprehending the power of the same realm could they compete with the other party. Damn it, this was a figure on Gao Ping's level. These powerhouses panicked and kept retreating. Because not long ago, Gao Peng and the Nether King's performance in the Battle of Tianqiong Wind shocked the world. To them, a power that was close to Tao was the power of God. Who on earth was he? Which sect was this expert from? Qin family head, this is all your fault. What should we do? The people of the 9 super families roared crazily, and they all looked at the middle-aged man. The Chun family head's face turned black, and he was so angry that his whole body trembled. How could he know that the other party was a peerless genius who had comprehended Tao? If he knew, he wouldn't have dared to go against the other party. Feng'er, who on earth was he? Why did you start a conflict with him? The Qin family head asked quickly. Although Chen Rufeng was only a soul in the gourd, he was also trembling at this moment. Impossible. He was going crazy. The other party had comprehended a power that was close to Tao. He actually dared to go against such a person? How could he be so reckless? One had to know that the reason why he was so arrogant before was because he was a genius of the Chen family. With the full support of the Chen family, given another 500 years, he was confident that he could comprehend this kind of power. But now, the other party had already comprehended this kind of power and surpassed him by 500 years. Chen Rufeng's confidence was shattered in an instant. At this moment, when he heard the Qin family head's words, He shook his head. I don't know. I only know that people call him Lin Gongzi. Lin Gongzi? Hearing this, the Qin family head was stunned, and the surrounding experts were also stunned. They didn't know who Lin Gongzi was. However, at this moment, an elder's pupil shrank. His surname was Lin? His surname was Lin. The person who defeated the Nether King in Tianqiong Peak was called Lin Wudi. Could the two of them be? Before he could finish his words, the other elders were already trembling in fear. No way. Could the young man in front of them be Lin Wudi? Thinking of this, their minds were about to explode. If it was really Lin Wudi, even if there were 100 of them, they wouldn't be enough to kill him. Are you Lin Wudi? Many people screamed crazily. Lin Xian's lips curled into a cold smile. It seemed that they weren't stupid to actually guess my identity. What? You're really Lin Wudi? These elders were so scared that they peed their pants. Previously, they were only guessing. But now that they received confirmation from the other party, they were scared out of their wits. Run. In an instant, everyone fled in all directions. The legend of Lin Wudi had spread throughout the entire cloud-returning planet. That was an incomparably powerful supreme genius who defeated the Nether King. How could they be a match for him? Therefore, in an instant, these people fled one after another. The Qin family head's pupil shrank. He grabbed the blue gourd and instantly flew into the distance. Want to leave? Don't you think it's too late? Lin Xian snorted coldly. These families had gathered so many experts to give him a fatal blow. Now, how could he let these people leave? I'll let you see the most beautiful fireworks in the world. A golden light appeared in Lin Xian's eyes, and a golden moon spun crazily. Chapter 3161. In the next moment, the fleeing powerhouses all stopped in midair and looked at their own bodies in horror. All of a sudden, a small flame appeared in their hearts. Then, it turned into a dazzling firework that enveloped them. Wretched cries rang out one after another. At this moment, it was as though all of these mighty full cultivation kings were being harvested like chives, falling one after another. The elders of the 9 families also died instantly. The Qin family head roared like a madman. 3 top-grade weapons rushed out of his body, trying to protect him, but they couldn't do it. The moment they touched the flame, they collapsed. No. In the midst of his desperate screams, the Qin family head also turned into a firework and bloomed in the sky. In an instant, all the escaping Great Perfection Kings died. 61 Great Perfection Kings disappeared in the sky without leaving behind a single drop of blood. Impossible. Damn it. How is this possible? I don't believe it. Inside the blue gourd, Chun Roofing's soul watched this scene and fell into infinite horror. That was a total of 61 monarchs at the consummate level. They were all killed in an instant. Damn it. Who was this kid in front of him? What kind of demon did he provoke? No. Chun Rufeng screamed like a madman. He was extremely regretful now. Why did he provoke this kid? He was too strong. This was Lin Wudi. Even the Nether King and Gao Peng couldn't fight against him. Wasn't the Chen family courting death? In the next moment, his soul knelt in midair and kowtowed continuously. Spare me. I beg you, spare me. Don't kill me. Spare you? Now you know how to beg for mercy? Didn't you want to cut me into pieces before? Don't worry, as the instigator, I won't kill you so easily. I'll make you suffer for 10,000 years. In Lin Xian's left eye, golden runes flickered and he activated his pupil technique. Qin Roofing's soul screamed as he fell into a spiritual space. In here, one day outside was equivalent to 10,000 years in the spiritual space. And in this spiritual space, Chun Rufeng would suffer all kinds of torture. This was the price he had to pay for sending experts to kill Lin Xian. Looking at the trembling soul in front of him, Lin Xian snorted coldly, turned around, and left. Another 300 precious spiritual herbs were in his hands. He was one step closer to the Saint Breakthrough Pill. Counting the days, it was about time to collect them. Lin Xian's eyes flashed. He didn't forget that he gave Wangong, Hai Yu, young Master Shen, and the others a chance. Not long ago, he had killed young Master Shan through the air, intimidating those people. Now, it was time to collect those spiritual herbs. The Fan clan was also a big clan in the northern region. However, the Fan clan had been having a hard time recently. Because of a genius disciple of their clan, they had no choice but to collect spirit herbs.
Fan.
The Bloody Blade Monarch is nothing in our eyes. These people were very unhappy. However, Fanly didn't dare to stop. He could only use the resources of his branch to collect the spiritual herbs. After all, the inexplicable murder of young Master Shen had caused him too much fear. But fortunately, his branch finally collected a lot of spiritual herbs at any cost. He thought that it should be enough to satisfy the other party. On this day, a silhouette appeared in front of the Fan clan. In front of Fanly trembled. It was him. He was finally here. He didn't expect the other party to find him so accurately. Previously, his family didn't receive any news. Even his family's guards and array couldn't stop the other party. It seemed that the other party was indeed an expert. They couldn't find him. Lin Gongzi, the things are in the storage room. Fanly carefully handed over the storage ring. Not bad. Lin Xian nodded. Okay, from now on, our grudges are written off. Lin Xian disappeared in front of him. Did he leave? Fanly and the martial artists beside him widened their eyes. They checked carefully and found that the other party had really disappeared. Who was this person? They couldn't even find a trace of the other party. Grandfather, I've implicated you. Fanly smiled bitterly. If he hadn't been so arrogant and offended Lin Xian, perhaps they wouldn't have had to bleed so much and waste so many resources today. However, Grandpa Fan was relieved. Lear, you did the right thing this time. This young man is not someone we can provoke. Grandpa Fan had been secretly observing Lin Xian the moment he came in. But the more he observed, the more shocked he became. Because he found that Lin Xian was like a bottomless pit. He couldn't see through him. This kind of person was definitely not someone they could provoke. Fanly was relieved when he heard Grandpa Fan's words. Did he escape this time? He wouldn't dare to provoke others anymore. Next, Lin Xian set off one after another, arriving at the other three great clans. The three big families had also collected the herbs. After Lin Xian received the herbs, his grudges with these people were written off. Lin Xian had visited all 5 families. Now, there were only 3 families left: Wang Gong, Hai Yu, and young Master Shen. First, he wanted the Shen family. Lin Xian's body flashed and flew into the distance. The Shen family. The Shen family was heavily guarded. Since young Master Shen was mysteriously killed, the Shen family had been on high alert. Furthermore, the Shen family had sent out countless experts to track down and investigate the enemy's tracks. As for young Master Shen's words about collecting herbs, the Shen family didn't care at all. Who was it? Stop. On this day, they saw a figure descending from the sky and walking directly towards the Shen family. Immediately, the Shen family's guards rushed forward. The Shen family owes me 100 herbs. I'm here to collect them. This figure was Lin Xian. After he arrived, he said calmly, "What? Owe him 100 herbs? What a joke. Kid, do you know where you are? Who do you think you are? How dare you come to the Shen family?" That's right. How could the Shen family owe anyone anything? Even if they did. So what? Do you still dare to ask for it? Get out of here. Otherwise, I'll break your legs. I'll make you kneel in front of the Shen family for 100 years. These guards were very ferocious. They couldn't see Lin Xian's cultivation level, but they saw that Lin Xian was alone and his aura wasn't scary at all. In their eyes, there was nothing to be afraid of. Moreover, the Shen family was so powerful. These guards didn't care about him. One of them even walked out and said coldly, "Take him down. He might be related to the murderer." Chapter 3162. Hee, third elder brother. You are right. When the surrounding guards heard this, they revealed a sinister smile. Kid, if you want to blame someone, blame yourself for being too reckless. You actually came to my Shen family to cause trouble at this time. Don't blame us for being merciless. The The 6 guards pulled out their long swords, and their aura exploded. You are courting death. Lin Xian shook his head and sighed. The next moment, a cold light flashed in his eyes. Buzz. His gaze turned into a fierce sword aura and passed through the 6 guards. Puff. Puff. The 6 guards were stabbed in the glabella, and their souls were instantly destroyed. Plop. The 6 corpses fell to the ground. Before they died, they heard a sentence. It seems that young Master Shun's incident was not enough to warn you. Since that is the case, I will come personally. The 6 guards were already dead, but they now knew that the person in front of them was so terrifying. And he was the murderer of young Master Shun. Would the Shin family be able to contend against such a person? They did not know, because all of them were killed. Lin Xian's figure flashed, and he arrived at the Shin family. Huh, there is an array? After arriving, Lin Xian felt that the array in the air was very strong. There was even a terrifying aura around him that wanted to kill him. Humph! He snorted coldly and stomped his foot. Violent energy instantly spread out in all directions. With a crack, the array was crushed. The next moment, he landed in the Shin family. Boom! The destruction of the array set off a huge storm. Countless powerhouses in the Shun family roared crazily. Not good. The array is broken, and someone is coming. Damn it, what is going on? What is going on with the array? Go and investigate. Angry roars and screams were heard. Soon, they saw Lin Xian. Damn kid, who are you? Are you the one who destroyed the array? How dare you come to the Shin family to cause trouble? Someone, kill him. In an instant, more than a dozen martial artists rushed over. Their swords flashed, and the terrifying domain soared into the sky. In the face of these attacks, Lin Xian merely stomped his foot. Suddenly, the mountains collapsed and the earth cracked. A huge crack flew into the distance, and the surrounding martial artists were all sent flying. In the air, all the attacks were shattered in an instant. The dozen or so warriors who attacked kept vomiting blood, their faces filled with horror. Too powerful. With a single stomp of his foot, the entire defensive formation was shattered. Furthermore, the aftermath of that energy had caused them to suffer serious injuries. This was a peerless expert. Hurry up and inform the elders. Countless people screamed. In fact, they didn't need to say anything. Countless old figures had already arrived in the distance. When they saw the huge crack and the broken array formation around it, their pupils shrank. Where were the enemies? Which clan is he from? They asked frantically. In their opinion, the only thing that could cause all of this was the invasion of an army. At the very least, it had to be an existence similar to their family, or even more terrifying. However, the surrounding people pointed at a young man in front of them and said, "It's him. Elder, that's him." What? Only one person? A young man at that? The elders who had rushed over were instantly stunned. Nonsense. How could a young man destroy our defensive formation? The elders did not believe it at all. However, the people around them were trembling. They saw it with their own eyes. A bunch of trash. Those elders snorted coldly. The surrounding martial artists were basically guards. Although there were many of them, their strength was far inferior to theirs. Therefore, these elders did not believe it at all. They stared at Lin Xian. "Kid, who are you? Kneel down obediently and accept your death." There was no need to talk nonsense with him. They could just capture him and take his soul. An elder snorted coldly and reached out his big hand to grab Lin Xian. Buzz. Lin Xian raised his head slightly. 2 rays of golden light burst out from his eyes, turning into 2 golden sharp swords that slashed directly at the void. With a puff, the elder's palm was split open. Elder Zhang's arm was cut off, and he let out a miserable cry. The other's expressions changed. Not good. An expert. This time, they believed it. The elder who attacked this time was a peak 9-star martial artist. He was very powerful, but he was seriously injured in an instant. This meant that the other party was definitely an expert. Hurry up and take him down together. How dare he cause trouble in the Shin family alone? Did he really think that there was no one in the Shin family? All of the elders gathered around him. There were a total of 9 elders, and each of them was extremely terrifying. The weakest one was a peak 9-star martial artist. Many of them were even at the peak. When these people attacked together, the people around them heaved a sigh of relief. That's great. With their elders attacking, let's see how the other party dies. Facing the 9 Shin family elders, Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back. He did not move at all. However, the golden sword that he had shot into the sky earlier was tumbling non-stop. Then, it suddenly enlarged and turned into a golden mountain, pressing down on the void. The aura that it emitted made everyone tremble again. The surrounding martial artists of the Shin family trembled and knelt on the ground. The expressions of the 9 elders also changed drastically. This aura? They were too shocked. This aura was too violent. It was so violent that they could not bear it. 2 elders suddenly spat out mouthfuls of blood, and their bodies cracked. Who the hell was this person? Just the energy shockwave from the opponent's attack was already unbearable for them. If the other party attacked, they would be killed in an instant. Thinking of this, they were terrified. Stop. At this moment, another crazy roar came from afar. Following that, more people walked over. This time, the aura of the people who walked over was even more powerful. There were white-haired elders and middle-aged men who walked like tigers and dragons. The patriarch of the Shin family and the grand elders had appeared. That's great. Seeing this, the 9 elders heaved a sigh of relief. With the patriarch and the grand elders here, the other party was extremely powerful. They should be able to take him down. However, in the next moment, their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. This was because these people did not attack. Instead, they quickly said, "Young hero, please stop. Perhaps there was some misunderstanding here." That's right. Young hero, why are you attacking the Shin family? The Shin family has done something wrong in the past. We will definitely change. What? The patriarch of the Shin family and the grand elders did not attack directly. Instead, they were apologizing. The 9 elders could not believe their ears. The Shin family was so proud. Other than some of the top patriarchs, they did not care about anyone else. But now, they were lowering their heads to a young man. After hearing the patriarch of the Shin family's words, Lin Xian did not let the golden mountain in the sky fall. Previously, the young master of the Shin family owed me 100 spiritual herbs. I asked him to collect them, but he did not care. Therefore, I killed him to intimidate you. I did not expect the Shin family to be so reckless. You did not take my words seriously. What? Does the Shin family want to be exterminated? Speaking of this, Lin Xian's eyes lit up. He looked at one of the Shin family's Taishang elders and said calmly, "If an ant was arrogant, provoking, and insulting you, what would you do? Since it was an ant, you would naturally kill it mercilessly." The Taishang elder said subconsciously. The next moment, his expression turned cold. Could it be Shinkei? That's right. You know the reason, right? Lin Xian snorted coldly. The others broke out in cold sweat. It looked like Shinkei had provoked this young man in front of them, and this young man was a super strong cultivator. Strong cultivators had their dignity. The power of a strong cultivator was not to be trifled with. If a weak cultivator provoked them, they would definitely kill him mercilessly. They would be killed with a slap. Similarly, if Shinkei challenged a super strong cultivator, he would definitely be killed by the super strong cultivator. Damn it, this Shinkei is actually acting so recklessly. He even implicated the Shin family. After hearing the news, the Shin family's powerful cultivators roared in anger. Before this, they wanted to avenge Quebec, but now, they hated Shinkei to death. It was because Shinkei had provoked a godlike existence. Shinkei was reckless and provoked the young master. He deserved to be killed. What kind of elixirs do you need? The Shin family will definitely collect them for you. The Shin family's patriarch said in a low voice. They had no choice. In front of such a strong cultivator, they did not dare to resist at all. Moreover, it was indeed their Shinkei who provoked him first. The fact that the other party did not directly destroy the Shen family was already very respectful and merciful. Don't worry, I will do it myself. Lin Xian raised his head and formed a seal with his palms. Suddenly, above his head, a pair of golden eyes suddenly opened. It was as if the eyes of a god were looking down. That gaze completely enveloped the entire Shen family. This is? Everyone felt that their souls were penetrated. It was as if their lives were in the hands of that pair of eyes. They all knelt on the ground, trembling. Even the patriarch of the Shen family and the Taishang elders felt their scalps tingle. It was too powerful. Fortunately, they did not resist. Otherwise, the other party would probably kill them instantly. After Lin Xian activated his Tianji divine eyes, he directly looked for the Shen family. A large family like the Shen family would definitely have a spiritual herb garden and a spiritual herb warehouse. Therefore, Lin Xian directly collected 300 stalks of spiritual herbs. After that, Lin Xian left the Shen family. After Lin Xian left for a long time, the patriarch of the Shen family and the elders finally dared to stand up. They looked at the disappearing figures around them and heaved a sigh of relief. The others also felt that they had a new lease of life. Next, to the Hai family. Lin Xian turned into a rainbow and disappeared into the sky. Unexpectedly, just as Lin Xian arrived near the Hai family, Hai Yu appeared. At this moment, Hai Yu became even more enchanting. She looked at Lin Xian, and the corners of her mouth curled up into a cold smile. I've already collected all the spirit herbs. Now, let's see if you have the right to take them. After saying this, her figure flashed and rushed into the distance. She was going in the opposite direction of the Hai family. Lin Xian scanned with his soul spirit and felt the aura of a large amount of spiritual herbs on Hai Yu's body. He immediately followed her. He was not afraid of the other party's tricks. As long as the other party really had spiritual herbs, it was fine. After flying for about a few million miles, Hai Yu stopped. I didn't expect you to really come. I don't know if you really don't know what's good for you, or you are extremely daring. If there is an ambush, hurry up and let them out. I don't have time to waste here with you. Lin Xian said coldly. You know? Hai Yu was stunned. Looks like you are not an idiot, but you know and still dare to come. You really don't know what's good for you. Do you think you can fight against me? Do you think you can do anything to me? You are too naive. There is no need for the Hai family to do anything. Someone else can take care of you today. Oh? It's not the Hai family? Lin Xian was stunned. He originally thought that the Hai family had set up an inescapable net here and was waiting for him. But from the looks of it, it shouldn't be the Hai family. Then who is it? Lin Xian didn't care at all. Husband, come out. Hai Yu looked at the distant mountains and said with a smile. Husband? Lin Xian was stunned. Could it be Wan Gong? The Wan family? But soon, he realized that it wasn't Wan Gong. A green figure quickly rushed from the distance. Soon, a person wearing a green robe appeared. This person looked cold and gloomy. He seemed to be middle-aged, but his real age was unknown. The aura emitted from his body was very terrifying. As soon as he appeared, he took Hai Yu into his arms. Hai Yu said softly, Husband, it's him. It's this guy who wants to kill me. You have to help me get rid of him. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.